The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Buffalo. We are Detroit.
Today on Fox Sports Detroit Plus, it's the Montague Wildcats. They're facing off with Jackson Lumen Christi in the Division VI football final. And it all begins right now. The excitement is building inside Ford Field as we continue a very busy first day of high school football championship games. It's the Division VI final against the Wildcats of Montague and the Titans of Jackson Lumen Christi. Welcome inside Ford Field, everyone. Along with John Wangler, I'm Dan Dickerson. John, this is a lot of fun. Two teams with championship history in their past. Montague was here 10 years ago when they won back-to-back state titles. The added bonus for head coach Pat Collins this time around, he gets to coach his son, Drew, the quarterback.
Hey, how great is that, right? He was the coach. Pat was the coach in 1992 when they got to the finals. They didn't win, but his son, now Drew, is leading them to the finals and have a chance to do something his father didn't. He's a great quarterback, a sophomore. He gained a bunch of weight in the offseason to put himself in position to win. He didn't even know if he was going to be on varsity, but he won the job through injury, and then he's had a tremendous year. He's dedicated, hardworking. He makes great decisions and gives them an added dimension that they hadn't had before.
Now on the other side of the field, you talk about a football power, Jackson Lumen Christi, and they're coached by the legendary Herb Brogan.
Well, you can't say legendary enough. You're talking about a guy 5th in the MHSAA all-time wins. He's going for his 10th straight title. He has built a program over there second to none, going back to the 70s. He has two sons on the team, on the coaching staff, Sean and Shane, both won state titles for him, and he has two other coaches on his staff who he coached. So it's a real family affair there over in Jackson. He's built a tremendous program, and it's going to be fun to watch him today.
We got a chance to do that game, that 40-34 win over Ithaca last year. What a thriller, and we are looking forward to this one today. This is an explosive team, both these teams, and he had to replace a lot of starters. Herb Brogan says this is a real test for his team. Montague, Jackson Lumen Christi, the kickoff in the Division VI football finals is coming up next.
We gather under hazy night, rain or shadow cast, and floodlights applaud for this padded battle. And brothers suit up in armor and dance with the gridiron in unison under the spotlight, holding up their team, careful not to let them fall. Brotherhood is an equal effort, a give and take. If there is a single wrong beat, there's a chance of being consumed by flames, or being devoured by an opponent's rabid will. What you don't see is a season of long days, aching muscles drenched in sweat. What you don't see is the bone-shattering stomps of triumph, followed by slow grind and hard fall before any confetti can shower. What you get is glory mixed with unforgettable pain, a feeling you chase for the rest of your life. Brotherhood is equal effort, arm for arm, heart for heart. And every soul on this field has a story to tell. Tied to one another by battle cry, this game is a rite of passage, a test of loyalty to self, to team. In the heat of adversity, this night can turn blisters into gold, turf into sanction, cleats from dirt razors, and to Hermes winged boots. And we all could fly. You could feel it by the thunder.
As the voice of Michigan's student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played. We are responsible for helping MHSA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers, helping student athletes develop.
while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports,
while keeping a high level of respect for all those involved in the games.
For more information about the Student Advisory Council, visit our website at
MHSA.com.
Gotta make it happen. Yeah, you do. You got it. You got it. Gotta make it happen. Yeah, you do. Gotta make it happen. It's all on you.
It means a lot being a Michigan alum. So to be back here playing in Michigan means a lot. It's a second home to me. I'm happy to be back out here on the court. It's nothing like Michigan football. There's 110,000 people in the fans every single game. Just being in the student section, going down to the front row in front of all those fans, and I just become into a fanboy again for the game and the love of football. It's nothing like Michigan football.
The MHSAA High School Football Finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Kroger, the official sponsor of Football Week in Michigan, and by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Let's take it down to the field right now. Third member of our crew today, Brooke Fletcher. Brooke.
Guys, we talked about Coach Brogan and his long history here, but he's not the only one that has been here so long. His defensive coordinator, Joe Williams, has actually been by his side on the sideline since 1984. But the relationship goes even further back, 44 years exactly, when Joe Williams was a freshman at Jackson Lumen Christi. Coach Brogan was actually his position coach and physical education teacher. So I talked to Joe Williams earlier, and he was telling me how special it has been to be able to see him as an assistant coach and now the head coach. And their friendship, you guys, is undeniable, and the chemistry that they have. And it's obvious why they have so many championships under their belt and why they're going for another one here today.
Thank you, Brooke. Their third straight is what they're going for today. David Ramsey will kick it off. Montague won the toss and deferred. Fitzpatrick, Tyre Johnson. We'll be hearing his name a lot. Deep for Jackson Lumen Christi. Fitzpatrick with it across the 20, tripped up and falls forward to about the 25, and that's where the Titans of Jackson Lumen Christi will start their first drive of the day. Let's take a look at that quarterback, Joe Barrett. Johnny's a senior, and as you mentioned, he's very efficient when he throws the ball.
He's a game manager. He's done a really good job. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards. He doesn't throw interceptions. He makes good decisions. He's the real leader. You don't have to ask him to win a game. He keeps you in the game and just makes plays and makes that offense go.
Quick toss, left side, Nick Thomas. He's going to be getting a lot of the carries today. John, this is a team that likes to run the ball. They will throw, as you said, but this running first and foremost is on their mind.
They definitely want to establish the run, and they're going to establish it with Nick Thomas. He's a powerful runner. He's over 200 pounds. He's ran for over 1,600 yards, and he's really the go-to guy on that offense.
Another thing to watch with Nick Thomas, he's run, as John said, for almost 1,700 yards, but he threw a touchdown pass last week. He's going to get the carry here on the quick short toss, and he'll be driven to the ground by that Montague defense. Gain of 4, setting up third and short. Let's take a look at that offense for the Titans of Jackson Lumen Christi. They had to replace 16 starters from their championship team last year and 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen. So that is a rebuilt offensive line. And Herb Brogan said they've really come together nicely. But this test today with Montague is the biggest they're going to face all year. They give on third and short. Thomas skips through a hole and gets the first down, brought down by Brennan Schwartz, who leads the Montague in tackles this year. And let's take a look at that Montague defense. They call it a 3-3 stack defense. It'll sometimes look like a 3-5. But those guys up front, Marsh, Martin, and Eilers, are all guys who you will see on the offensive line. That's the interior of the offensive line. And, John, they're big. We look at the defensive backs in secondary. Thomas again. And he ran into a wall that time. Gain 3 if he was lucky. Jordan Aguilera, senior outside linebacker. John, talk about the 3-3 stack, what the coach means by that. Pat Collins.
Well, they're going to adjust a little because of the offense that Jackson Lumen Christi is going to run. So you're going to see 4 down linemen up here. That's an adjustment based on the formations that they're seeing with Jackson.
Second and long. Barrett rolls. Tucks it in and takes off. Ball comes loose. I think he was down. We'll see. They do rule that he was down. Eilers again on the tackle. Big size up front, and that was the concern for Herb Brogan of Jackson Lumen Christi, John, that his guys, he doesn't have necessarily a very big offensive line. It's very young and inexperienced, and he's going up against guys 260, 270, 280.
Well, and what they do, they don't blitz a lot, and they put a lot of pressure on that defensive line to get home, and that's exactly what happened that time. If they can pressure Jackson with that front line, it's going to be a long afternoon for that offense, and that's, as you mentioned, one of the things that concern the offensive staff over there on Jackson.
Lone man in the backfield is Thomas. On 3rd and long, again, Barrett rolls right. Under pressure, skips out of one tackle. He's in trouble, though, and he's not going to get out of the next one. Ball down for a loss. Again, Aguilera, loss of 5 on 3rd and 7. And Jackson Lumen Christi will have to punt it away.
Well, the guy who made that play was Nick Stevens, number 26. He came off the edge and almost had a sack in the backfield and then forced Barrett to reverse his field, and that really made the play, and then they had great contain and great pursuit.
Dayton Keller will punt it away for Lumen Christi. Steve Johnston have been returning punts all year long for Montague. And this one they will just let go, and it takes a Montague bounce in a big way. The Wildcats of Montague will have good field position on their first drive of the day, just across their own 40-yard line because of the bad bounce for Lumen Christi, just a 22-yard punt. Quarterback Drew Collins playing for his dad, and his dad had some nice things to say about him before the game.
He's a hard worker, so what you see on the field is really developed off the field because he put so much time in. He's a workhorse. He's a student of the game.
And you mentioned it, John, the mental side has always been there. He had to get physically stronger, and he did that in the offseason.
He really did. His goal was to make varsity, and he put a lot of time in the weight room, put on 30 pounds of muscle, and put himself in position to win that quarterback spot.
Take a look at the numbers on Drew Collins.
Well, you look at he's threw for 1,700 yards, 16 touchdown passes, obviously. Not only is he a good, accurate passer, he's a downhill runner. So he's a tough, strong runner. He's not going to beat you to the outside, but he can pick up those tough yards and step up in the pocket.
Play action here downfield, and Kenyon Johnston was the intended target, but that was pretty good defense that time by Lumen Christi.
It was just try to release, inside release, great play there, knocking that ball down.
What a play by Kyer Johnson.
Kyer Johnson has been making plays all year long, and that was he wasn't fooled. They leaked him in. He made a great play on the ball and did not interfere with the receiver.
So 3rd and long as well for the Wildcats of Montague. Were scoreless in the first quarter in the Division VI championship game. Lumen Christi going for a 3rd consecutive title. Quick toss right side, and the timing was not there with Brennan Schwartz. He's going to be a big target for Drew Collins today, but their timing just a little bit off. You can tell that Schwartz wasn't even looking for that throw. when Collins let it go.
They went 2 by 2, tried to spread them out with one back, and had Schwartz doing an out cut, and they were just a little off on that first pass.
So this is 4th and 11. And time called. It looked like Wildcats looked like they were going for it. I think Lumen Christi wasn't buying it, and then in the end, I think Herb Brogan said, we got to make sure about this one. Scoreless early in the Division 6 championship game.
Dear Dr. Rios, finding out that I had cancer was the scariest moment of my life. I thought of my children, my husband. All I knew is that I wanted to live. The moment I met you, I knew I was in good hands. I am a breast cancer survivor. I feel like I have been given a gift. Thank you for giving me that gift. Thank you for saving my life.
You ready, Darius?
Let's do it. Anybody want an autograph?
Autograph? We're here for the stuffed crust pizza.
Stuffed crust pizza? Hey, who do you think you are? End of the line, pal.
Flavor fanatics love stuffing their faces with our stuffed flavored crust. Get one for only $2 more on any large original round pizza.
Hungry?
Howie's!
MHSAA football is presented to you by Baker College. Division 6 championship game. Montague Wildcats, Jackson Lumen Christi Titans. 4th and 11. The Wildcats looked like they were going to go for it, and that forced Lumen Christi to burn a timeout. Now they are doing what everybody expected, a punt. Brendan Schwartz is a good punter. He averages almost 40 yards a punt. This one, though, is bobbled, but Kyer Johnson found it, got a perfect bounce, trying to make something out of nothing, and that's a heck of an effort to gain about 1 yard.
Kyer Johnson kept his composure after that fumble, did a great job battling back to pick up a few yards and keeping that drive, put him in decent field position.
He made 4, 5, 6 people miss before finally getting brought down for a gain of 2.
Great individual effort.
So second drive of the day for Jackson Lumen Christi. Under center now is Barrett. And Thomas in the backfield, and he'll get the carry left side. And right now, you would have to say that Montague, the guys up front, are making it awfully tough for an explosive runner, Nick Thomas, to get anywhere. Hunter Mosier leading the way that time defensively for Montague.
Jackson is not getting a lot of push with that offensive line. And as we talked about, the size and strength and penetration that defensive line and that front seven are getting early is impressive.
Lumen Christi, I mean, they've got a knack for building an offensive line, and they have done it again this year. A lot of credit Herb Brogan giving to offensive line coach Dan Horn, but they're just right now the size advantage is with Montague in a big play this time. No, the play is still alive as Kyer Johnson gets the ball, and he's brought down in the backfield. Thomas looked like he was going to be hauled down, and he got it to Kyer Johnson. Bruce Stark, in the end, it's a 6-yard loss.
Just the old toss sweep. We're pulling a missed block. Great. Oh, he brought him back. An individual effort there.
That was the quickest pitch I have ever seen. That was sleight of hand right there.
That was a quick toss.
Today's Skycam brought to you by Baker College. So both offenses right now going backwards. 3rd and long again for Jackson Lumen Christi. Barrett's going to look deep right side, and some contact, but there will be no flag. He was looking for Dayton Keller. That's his favorite target. Good coverage by Sebastian Archer, the senior corner for Montague. And again, Jackson Lumen Christi, this is an explosive offense. Both of these offenses really are explosive, but they have not been able to get anything going so far against Montague. Dayton Keller will line up to kick it away again on 4th and long. Kenyon Johnston and Nick Stever back for Montague. It will be Joe Barrett who will punt this one away after the 22-yard punt earlier. This one again takes the bounce for Montague. That's really good coverage to prevent the bounce from being worse. Brock Fitzpatrick hustling down a punt of 30 yards. And Montague will take over for the second time today, just beyond their 40-yard line. Still looking for our first score of the day in the Division VI final.
This may look like a few dollars, but it's way, way more. To a foster child, it's a pathway to extracurricular activities.
To join the soccer team.
To keep up in school.
To explore new places.
Make new friends.
And just be a kid.
It's a chance to build confidence.
Learn new stuff.
Get ready for college.
Maybe even go to prom.
Visit tickettodream.org and learn how you can help foster kids just be kids.
Stream live Pistons games on the Fox Sports app.
IBEW Local 58 brings you the road to the finals. We look at Montague's road. You see Montague just north of Muskegon on the west side. They had a tough game last week against Traverse City St. Francis. You see a lot of lopsided games leading to that game. That was just a knock them down, drag them out fight. Traverse City St. Francis down 7-0 at the half, and then they come away with a hard-fought, well-earned 14-7 win.
That's a perennial power up there, Traverse City St. Francis. It was a huge win to get him into the finals.
Give is up the middle, and it's a big hole. Across the 45 into the open field is Bryce Stark. He's got a block, and he's taking it all the way. 57-yard touchdown run for Bryce Stark. Gives the Montague Wildcats the early lead.
Little trickeration here, Dan. That was a direct snap to Bryce Stark. The quarterback acted like he was going to receive the football and then faked a flat pass. The ball was snapped directly to Bryce Stark. He made a couple great cuts, broke a couple tackles, and was off to the races.
Boy, that's strength for Bryce Stark to break out of those tackles, and the downfield blocking impressive for Montague.
Well, Stark's a powerful runner, keeps his feet moving, and you saw there that he has the ability to break tackles and make people miss in the open field.
Ramsey pretty rock solid on extra points, and this one is up, and it is good.
You see, Drew Collins did a nice job acting there, faking the pass, and then Stark did the rest. Great individual effort. He's a very patient runner. Coach Collins said that before. He's patient, he's smart, he's got good vision. Watch these cuts, watch him set up his blocks, take his time, did a nice job, and then he sprinted to the end zone and just used his speed on the outside. Very heady runner to go with his size and speed.
One of the guys leading the way downfield, Sebastian Archer. He was the quarterback at the start of the year, and with an injury to Bryce Stark in game one, Sebastian Archer ended up in the backfield, and they put a lot of emphasis. Most teams that like to run the ball do on that downfield blocking, but what a great example there. His downfield blocking, the former quarterback, now running back, helping his backfield mate, Bryce Stark, break one for 57 yards. So the big play in last year's championship games were full of big plays, mostly running plays. And the first touchdown we have in Division VI is a big 57-yard touchdown run. Brock Fitzpatrick will field this at his own 7. Try to cut it across, but man, there is some quickness on that Wildcats defense. Montague shutting down Jordan Aguilera with the tackle and a flag. So Lumen Christi might be backed up even a little bit further.
Personal foul. Face mask. On the kicking team. 15 yards. First down.
So it goes the other way. 5th tackle already for Jordan Aguilera. We take a look at Lumen Christi's road to the finals. They had some blowouts. Even in the semifinals, it was a 22-point win. But Herb Brogan said that was a tough Montrose team. But look at some of those other scores, winning by 27, 33, 36 points. They've won every game this year. A perfect 13-0 by at least 15 points. That's how dominant this Lumen Christi team is. And you know you've built a winning program when you lose 16 starters off a team that won a state championship and you get back there the next year.
Well, they reload. Championship programs reload. And that's exactly what they've done these last 2 seasons. And now they're back in the finals.
Boy, that is good, strong running from Nick Thomas. He just kept the legs going. It looked like it might be 3 or 4. He ends up with 7 on first down. Fitzpatrick will also carry the ball for Lumen Christi. This little short dive up the middle, and Dayton Keller is going to get maybe a couple, setting up 3rd and short. A couple of years ago, the win over Maple City, Glen Lake for Lumen Christi. And last year, an Ithaca team that, this was a battle. I mean, this was a highly entertaining game.
Great game.
Lumen Christi comes away with a wild 40-34 win. It was one of those games when whoever had the ball last, you felt like was going to win it. And that's what it came down to.
We thought we were in a track meet. It was up and down. It was great football.
So 3rd and short. The sneak and the first down carry for quarterback Joe Barrett. Good push up front that time. That was the Lumen Christi front line.
That was a good call, Dan. That was the first time we've seen that offensive line really get some traction and move the line of scrimmage. It's neat to see the old quarterback sneak, and some of the formations you see with Jackson Lumen Christi are old school, right? They have Rip and Liz, and they have 2 tights, and it's a great offense. It's very balanced, and they keep them tight. They rely on that offensive line. Very conservative, but very balanced. We got unbalanced here.
So far, best field position for Lumen Christi. Thomas again, big hole. And he's got a solid gain on first down, 8-9 yards. Brendan Schwartz grabbed him and then had to hang on. Now that offensive line starting to open up some holes for Nick Thomas. They're just going to keep giving him the ball.
Well, it's a game of numbers, and they outflanked him on the left side, and they gave Thomas. It was nothing more than an off tackle, but they had more men on that left side than Montague did, and they were able to create a great hole in some space, and Thomas doesn't need much.
Big block that time by the right tackle, Keegan Smith, the 6'3", 285-pound junior on the right side of that line for Jackson Lumen Christi. Short dive up the middle on 2nd and short, and Lumen Christi wants the first down, and they get it. Nick Thomas again. So you're Herb Brogan, and you know your offensive line is somewhat inexperienced, playing well, but inexperienced, giving away some poundage there on the line against those interior linemen defensively for Montague. What are some of the things you're thinking about?
Well, it's a chess game, right, Dan? And that time, you had Tommy Putnam and Ian Moran, the center, did a nice job. That was just a simple dive. And they're confident enough in their offense. Herb Brogan is not going to get flustered. They're going to take their time, methodically march it down the field, take time off the clock. He's very, very confident in what they can do. So you're not going to see these guys get rattled.
First 2 drives went backwards. Now they're moving the ball for the first time. Barrett back to throw, deep down the middle, and just overthrew Dayton Keller, one of his favorite targets. He's a big tight end. He's got very sure hands, and that's a guy that you'll be hearing about throughout the course of the game.
Just a little play action here off of an isolation. They released Keller. They're trying to get a mismatch on Keller. That time a linebacker was trying to run with Keller, and that's a mismatch. He was just a little long on that throw, but you can expect them to go back to that again because they're looking for that mismatch.
Play action worked that time after all those gives to Thomas. You could see the linebackers freeze for just a moment. Full house backfield this time. Now they shift out of it. Empty backfield. Quick toss, Thomas. Looking for a block. That's good pursuit. Down the line, ball loose. And Montague has it.
Sebastian Archer.
Swarming defense forces the turnover, and Montague gets it back already with a 7-point lead.
So it was a toss sweep. Great gang tackling. They ripped the ball loose. Archer right there, heads up play, picks it up, and a huge break here for Montague.
Brennan Schwartz ripped it loose. And now the Wildcats of Montague with the 7-point lead have it. They've had good field position all 3 possessions now. Across their 40 twice, and now just outside Lumen Christi's 40.
Schwartz is a huge factor back there, Dan. Free safety, he's coming downhill. He's their leading tackler. Great player.
Give is up the middle. Nothing there for Bryce Stark. And Saunders leading the charge up front. So that sets up 2nd and 10. One of the matchups that Herb Brogan is watching very closely today. That's his nose tackle, Patrick Lucas. He's 5'9", 180. But we've seen this before, John. Small nose tackles sometimes are really tough to block, but he was concerned a little bit about the size in the matchup for Lucas. And right here, look at who's at the middle of that stack of tacklers. The nose tackle, Patrick Lucas.
I'll tell you, nose tackles are a dying breed. Quick ones, they can be one of the most disruptive forces the defense could have. A quick step around nose guard can be in that backfield, and nothing raises more havoc than a quick step around nose guard.
I mean, he's giving away 90 pounds to the guy across from him, and yet just made a terrific play right there to set up 3rd and 10.
With so many schools going to a 4-3, you lose that quick little, there's a place for that guy in football, especially high school football.
The fake toss, and now stepping up and getting driven down, Drew Collins and Nick Thomas. There's a two-way player, one of several two-way players, hauls him down for a loss of 6. Thomas not only the leading rusher, but also the leading tackler for Jackson Lumen Christi. This is a big play.
They faked the toss to Archer. They're looking downfield, tried to freeze those linebackers, but it was great penetration there that ruined that play. That was Nick Thomas coming in, blowing that play up.
So 4th down, expect the pooch punt. They're trying to draw him offside. Drew Collins now will give way. And it is just a soft little punt by Sebastian Archer, and it's nearly perfect and goes into the end zone. It will be a touchback. It did get into the end zone. An almost perfect punt by that young man, Sebastian Archer. Boy, he dropped it outside the 10, and then the roll just kept going. So Lumen Christi, after the turnover, does a very good job of making sure that Montague just scored on the big play doesn't add to their lead. And now Lumen Christi, which had been moving the ball, will get a shot to show that they can move it again here. Just 5 seconds left here in the first quarter. 7-0 Montague against the 2-time defending Division VI champions Jackson Lumen Christi. Joe Barrett is a senior. Quick toss again, right side Thomas. Good step inside into the open field and across the 35-yard line. Finally brought down by Kenyon Johnson, but only after a gain of 16 yards on a play that will end the first quarter. Highly entertaining so far. Defenses have been dominating for the most part. It's 7-0 Montague.
Football Week in Michigan continues. The Legacy Senior Football All-Star Game, Sunday at 12:30 on Fox Sports Detroit.
Gotta make it happen. Yeah, you do.
Warren Birkenhauer, proud IBEW member. My career began as a non-union electrician. I love the work, not the pay and the lack of benefits. When I joined the IBEW, my life changed. Now I earn great wages, benefits, and I'll be able to have a good retirement. I can take care of my family the way I want to, and that matters to me. The IBEW has made a huge difference in my life. If you're a good electrician looking to get paid what you're actually worth, then there's room for you in the IBEW.
Anyone can deliver a box, but when you consider the source, no matter how you get your groceries, only Kroger can bring you the fresh, delicious food and quality products you already know and love. So check out while you're chilling. Shop online today.
Watch out! In the end zone, touchdown! Whoa! What a play!
Here's what's happening Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. during Football Week in Michigan.
Start of the second quarter at Ford Field. John Wengler, Dan Dickerson, glad to have you along. The Division VI Championship Series. We take it down to Brooke Fletcher, who's with a family that has a little bit of a generational history with her Brogan.
Exactly. We all know how long Coach Brogan has been here at Jackson Lumen Christi, but what we didn't know is that he's actually coached 3 generations of Dentons. Hunter Denton is a senior on Jackson Lumen Christi, and I'm here with his grandpa, Greg, and his dad, Pete. You guys actually played for Coach Brogan. So did you ever think playing in high school for Coach Brogan that you would be here at this game watching your grandson play for him as well?
No, I didn't, especially for the state championship. They won 2 years in a row and are here for the 3rd year. I'm just amazed at how well Coach Brogan has coached my grandson and the rest of these kids. I'm amazed.
Now, you were actually on the first undefeated team at Jackson Lumen Christi, right?
Yes, there was back in 1975. Coach Brogan and Coach Crowley, greatest guys ever played for.
Now, not many people get to say that they, played for the same coach as their son and grandson. So you guys know what makes Coach Brogan tick, right? So what was your advice to Hunter going into high school?
Keep your mouth quiet and do what the coach says.
That simple?
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. That's all it was. Go about it. Do your job.
Now, I talked to Coach Brogan earlier this week, and he told me who the best Denton was as far as athlete. I want to hear your opinion. Who's the best Denton, athletic-wise?
I would say Hunter Roy Denton, my grandson.
Absolutely. I can't disagree with you.
All right, well, that's what Coach Brogan said. So I guess we all agree. Back to you, Dan.
All right, Brooke, thank you. And thanks to the Denton family. Again, their son Hunter is the left tackle. Number 66 for Jackson Lumen Christi. That's Keller in motion. Toss is going to be to Kyer Johnson, right side. Man, the defensive coverage right now is terrific by Montague. You see a flag fly. Nick Stever, Bryce Stark in on the tackle. There's just not, I tell you, the closing speed defensively, John, is impressive.
Their pursuit has been tremendous so far this afternoon.
Looks like the call will go against Lumen Christi.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards, spot foul, replay, 2nd down.
There's a picture of Herb Brogan with the Dentons.
Spoken like true parents, right? Who's the best Denton? It's our grandson and our son who's playing. I mean, that's great parenting right there.
He's changed his number since that picture. That's Hunter right there, number 66. So 2nd and long. So the one big play for Montague. Otherwise, the offenses have had a tough time moving the ball. Defenses really are the story early on in this Division VI championship game. Barrett looking downfield. Has one of his favorite targets, Kyer Johnson. Kenyon Johnson brings him down. Kyer Johnson can be explosive. They really want to get him into the open field because when he gets a little bit of space, he can go.
That was a well-executed play at the end. That time they just rolled, and Barrett's a right-handed quarterback. He rolled to the left and threw a strike to Kyer Johnson there. He just did a nice outcut, drove his man deep, came back to the football. That was a well-executed football play.
Only 11 receptions on the year for Johnson, but He certainly is somebody to keep an eye on with that big play ability. Now the shift here. Under center goes Barrett on 3rd and short. And now time called. Did they take too much time? The flag flew, but no penalty. They did call time in time. Well, the message is getting through to everybody. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website.
It's a great message. Couldn't agree more, Dan. I tell you, we went too far. Kids should play every sport every season, play at least 2 sports in high school, and I think it makes you better in your sport of choice. I really do.
Talking to head coaches, whenever they mention a 3-sport star, you appreciate it and you realize how hard it is. A lot of times it's a football, basketball, baseball player, but if you're a baseball player, teams want you to play travel baseball. If you're a football player, there's spring football. So I agree. It's not easy these days to be able to do it. It's a great message, though. So 3rd and short. It was Lumen Christi that took the timeout. Barrett, quick toss. Thomas following his blocks into the open field, down the sideline, and they won't get him. Nick Thomas takes it 53 yards. Lumen Christi an extra point away from tying this game.
Nothing fancy, just a toss sweep into the sideline. Get those big uglies in front of you, and the fullback kicks out. Good old school football.
You keep giving the ball to a guy who averages 10 yards a carry. Sooner or later, he's bound to break one. That was 57 yards. Kevin Salazar on now to try to tie it up. And he is perfect through the uprights. Nick Thomas, two-way player. Look at the cut in the blocks. We're tied at 7.
Lions Game Plan, Thursday on Fox Sports Detroit.
Take a look here. We got Keller and Langley kicking these out here, and we got right here Thomas following them right in, cutting into the end zone. Here you go. You got Keller and Langley kicking out. Thomas doing a nice job making a shallow cut inside there right here. Shallow cut, and that takes him to the end zone.
And that's good breakaway speed for Thomas. It's a great combination. Can take it inside with some strength and the ability to separate once he gets some room in the secondary.
Well, he's very strong, and he's got good vision as well. He's patient. He's a senior. He's been around, and he can follow his blocks. And you can't say enough. They took Keller from his tight end position, put him in the backfield, and had him and Langley leading that play. Great concept.
Low line drive kick. Kenyon Johnson dropped it, picks it up, looking for a hole, and oh man, He had some space and got tripped up. Might have been a saving tackle, otherwise a big game. Caden Martins got the shoestring tackle across the 25. Reaching out. Oh, he had a lot of space. Look at those blockers. They were all going to kick out, and he was going to go.
Very fortunate. Martins threw his hand out there and made that stop. Great play.
So Montague, each team with a long touchdown run, 57-yard touchdown run for each team in this game. Otherwise, the defenses have been really very impressive, shutting down the guys across from them other than those two big plays. Collins, quick flip left side. He really didn't have anything there. There was a little bit of contact, but no interference. Take a look at that lineup for Montague, setting that offensive line. A lot of seniors on that line. Marsh, Eilers, and Yost leading the way.
Good size.
And you really like Brennan Schwartz in that wideout spot for Montague.
Schwartz has been a big factor all year long. Eilers and Marsh have been the key there on the offensive line.
Give up the middle, very little there. Look who's leading the way. Nick Thomas every time. The give to Sebastian Archer. Take a look at Lumen Christi. We talked about Patrick Lucas, that nose guard. Pretty good linebacking core.
Keegan Smith, watch him, and Dayton Keller. Both have been making big plays all day.
And then in the secondary, we got that good linebacking crew. The secondary, Kyer Johnson, also a part of that, along with, you saw, Willis and Tyron Kane. So 3rd and long now for the Wildcats of Montague. Stark in the backfield with Drew Collins. Remember, Collins just a sophomore, getting better and better. They throw a lot at this young man, and whistle blows. Timeout, or too much time.
Timeout, Montague.
Timeout came from the Montague sidelines. Pat Collins, quarterback's dad, 15th year at Montague. And again, he coached those teams to back-to-back championships for Montague 2008. In 2009, he'd been to the semis 3 other times and lost. This is a team that's used to being in this position in the championship game, or certainly playing well into November. Let's take it back down to the field, and Brooke Fletcher. Brooke.
Yeah, guys, for those of you who don't know exactly where Montague is, it's actually right next to Lake Michigan. And in 1990, the American Water Works Association, Michigan section, recognized Montague for the best tasting water. Also, President Abraham Lincoln's first cousin, Hannah Lincoln Sammis, is buried in a little cemetery in Montague Township. And guys, it's also home to the largest weather vane in the world. And for those of you who don't know what a weather vane is, it's actually a pointer telling you the direction of the wind, usually on top of buildings, but this one is a little too big for that, you guys, because it's 48 feet tall and the arrow across is 26 feet long. To give you an idea of how tall that is, the average size of a telephone pole is 36 feet. So they probably have some high-speed winds up in Montague, it looks like.
Brooke, we appreciate you traveling to each and every one of these cities to dig into their historical roots.
Very impressive.
Thank you, Brooke. And on 3rd and long, the pressure from Jackson Lumen Christi, led by Dayton Kellers, doing a little bit of everything right now. And a loss of 4 on 3rd and long, and Montague will have to punt it away.
Collins didn't have a chance there. Keller coming off the edge there, unblocked, and he met about 4 of his teammates there back at the quarterback. Great pass rush there by Jackson Lumen Christi.
Keegan Smith in the backfield as well. You're right, it was a swarm of Lumen Christi Titan defenders. Kyer Johnson, Jack Kelly. Deep, make it just to Kyer Johnson. Soft punt, and that one is going to die just across the 50. And this time Lumen Christi, which has been backed up deep on a lot of its drives. Jackson Lumen Christi will start good field position this time just across their 40-yard line. Hey, fans, help us decide who wins the football week in Michigan Photo Contest. It's presented by Kroger. $2,500 cash on the line. Head over to foxsportsdetroit.com to see the top 10 finalists, and then you can tweet to vote for your favorite photo once a day. The voting period will end on Sunday. Football week in Michigan. Busy, busy week of football. Lions yesterday here at Ford Field. 4 championship games today. 4 more tomorrow. Barrett, quick toss to who else? Thomas. Thomas steps out of a couple of tackles, and you talk about making something out of nothing. Should have been stopped after 5 yards. He gains 17 across the 40-yard line of Montague.
Watch him keep his feet moving there. Makes a nice shallow cut, patient, 2-3 little jukes, and here he is. He's getting tackled, keeping his feet moving. That's great individual effort. Just a little stiff arm there, 2 stiff arms. Nice little spin.
6 broken tackles by the time he was finally brought down by Stark and Welch for the Wildcats.
Well, not only is he a great runner, great vision and strong, he's been a real leader of that offense. He's a natural leader, Coach Brogan said. One of the guys they rely on to carry this team when things get tough.
Barrett to throw. Got a man wide open. Kyer Johnson, touchdown. 40-yard strike from Barrett to Kyer Johnson, and Lumen Christi takes the lead.
Great play call there by Lumen Christi.
Two big plays, and Lumen Christi, which is having a hard time moving the ball, suddenly has the lead. Extra point is up, and it is good from Kevin Salazar. A 57-yard touchdown run, a 40-yard touchdown strike from Barrett to Johnson. And Jackson Lumen Christi is in the lead.
The ones who wake up every morning ready to take on the world. The ones who push their limits to be better than the rest. You're looking to join a team of leaders who want to be challenged. You want to be pushed to your limits. You value freedom and think you have what it takes. The ones with speed, strength, intellect, and determination. Michigan Army National Guard. We see you.
2 days only. Don't miss Menards' huge Black Friday sale. Doors open at 6 a.m. Friday. Hurry in for best selection. Get this 3-rack dishwasher for just $299 after rebate. This 1600 PSI pressure washer is $49.97. Keep your firearms secure with this 30-gun safe. $279 after rebate. This drone takes photos and video. Just $29.99. Save on these and many more 2-day deals. Now through Saturday during Menards' Black Friday sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Today's Skycam is brought to you by Baker College. Overhead look. John, how did he get so wide open?
Well, look at Kyer Johnson is on the right wing. Nice play action pass, and Kyer runs right up the seam. The safeties was frozen on the left hash. The corner was over there on the right hash, and he ran right up the seam untouched. The reason he comes so wide open is these guys are frozen by the play action because they've been running the ball so successfully. Great call, great execution.
And that's the value of Nick Thomas. One of the many things that's of value of having Nick Thomas on your team offensively and defensively. You're right, they froze. And a very dangerous receiver couldn't have been any more wide open. Archer, Kenyon Johnston deep again. Salazar will kick off. Low line drive will be fielded by Archer. Following some blockers across the 35, and good starting field position again. Looked like Kevin Salazar, the kicker, being on the tackle that time. 25-yard return. Suddenly a game that's been dominated by defenses has become wide open with big plays on both sides.
First down and 10 for Montague. Wildcat 37.
Montague, the team that throws the ball a little bit better. And, John, you would think we might see there's heavy pressure coming from Lumen Christi. We might see a few more throwing attempts by Montague. This time Archer gets the ball, and there's just nothing there. Nick Thomas. How impressive is Nick Thomas, number 10? Number 10 is playing both sides of the ball, and he looks just as fresh as when the game started. And you know he's got to be maybe not gassed, but there's a lot on that young man.
I'll tell you, he closes so fast. When he reads the play, identifies where that ball carrier, he closes very, very fast. And he's going to end up going to Air Force next year. They're getting a great one in Nick Thomas. Yep.
Direct snap this time. Up the middle goes Bryce Stark. Gain of 4 on first down. If you look at Bryce Stark, he got hurt in game 1, and it was an injury to number 33, Bryce Stark, that really changed the course of this offense, because that put Drew Collins in at quarterback. It moved the quarterback, Sebastian Archer, to the backfield because they didn't really have anybody else. And that's why Drew Collins got the starting job. When you mentioned earlier, John, they didn't even know the sophomore quarterback would be on varsity this year.
That was his hopes. That was his goal, to get on varsity.
Quick toss, left side. That's to Archer. Steps out of a tackle, and that's a big open field tackle by Wyatt Plate. Otherwise, that could have been even a bigger game, but that's 7 yards and a first down as Montague tries to answer the Lumen Christi touchdown toss.
That time, all they did, they had Archer out there in the slot. He just stepped back, and Collins did a nice job catching the ball and releasing it quickly, giving him an opportunity to make a play. That's not an easy pass to throw, because you're throwing up the field and out the field. And for a sophomore to complete that and get it out there that quick, very impressive.
In motion is Kenyon Johnston. The fake to him, in trouble. Collins in big trouble, makes 2 miss, but he won't make the other 3 miss. It is a swarming defense right now for Jackson Lumen Christi. Keller and Thomas end up making the sack, a loss of 10.
Well, that time they tried to fake a reverse and they buy some time, but that play took too long to develop, and the penetration that Lumen Christi's getting is not allowing these guys to have slow, long developing plays be successful.
John, they're going to have to throw more routes, you would think, like the one we saw 2 plays before.
They got to get the ball out, because these guys are starting to really have their way and get penetration.
The quick snap again, the direct snap, but Lumen Christi not biting as Bryce Stark gets it and gains maybe a yard or 2. Setting up again for Montague. 3rd and long, trailing by 7, counting down to 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Nick Thomas a little hobbled as he comes off the field. No more valuable player for Lumen Christi than number 10. Third and 18. Archer, Stark in the backfield with quarterback Drew Collins. Has some time this time, going deep, and it's overthrown and intercepted. Bobby Willis in the open field. He's going to go down at the 35, so it almost acts like a punt. Well, that was good coverage by Lumen Christi, and really no chance for Collins to complete that pass.
Yeah, that time there was double coverage, and really no opportunity for them to be successful. Willis just playing center field. He overthrew him. Had nice play in the ball, staying with it. Puts them in a good position here.
Stever, the intended receiver, he just couldn't get any separation. Good arm for Drew Collins on that throw, but Lumen Christi has it on the turnover at their own 35, trying to put together another drive. Their drives have really been a couple of big plays. Herb Brogan has to be happy with the way his line has stood up to the challenge of facing this, as he called it, monster line from Montague. College-sized line into the open flat. Quick toss, right side. And a solid gain on first down, 6-yard gain on first down. Well, coming up at halftime, we'll spotlight the journey of Tony Annese from his beginnings to the head coach of Ferris State. We're going to hear from both head coaches, and we'll also take a look at some of the highlights from the first half of this game. And there have been some big highlights on both sides. Big plays, all 3 touchdowns, at least 40 yards. 2nd and short. Clock counting down to 3 minutes. Give up the middle. The ball is loose. And Montague has it. Drew Collins comes up off the bottom of the pile. Dayton Keller carried.
Just a power eye. They gave the ball inside there to Dayton Keller, and the ball got sprung loose, and great play there by Drew Collins. Alert heads-up play.
I think Luke Marsh just swung his right arm and knocked that ball out. It's a heck of a play by one of the down linemen for Montague.
These guys have been tackling the ball since the beginning of the game on both sides. They've been trying to rip that ball loose, and you're going to have to cover up or else the ball's coming out.
So big turnovers. The clock was ticking down below 3 minutes, and Montague is down 7. Now they've got the ball in Lumen Christi territory. Stark in the backfield with Drew Collins. Direct snap to Stark. Lumen Christi is not fooled by anything. Stepping out of it is Stark. How did he maintain his feet? He's across the 30, across the 25. He was in a pile of humanity, and suddenly he was loose before being hauled down after a gain of 18 yards by Wyatt Plates.
It almost looked like they heard a whistle and they stopped. They didn't bring him down. He didn't finish the play. Stark, to his credit, keeping those legs churning, comes right out of the pile.
They were trying for the strip as well.
Well, that's the downside when you're tackling the ball, Dan. If you have a back who keeps his legs moving, it could be very difficult, and that's what happens when a guy breaks loose.
And to his credit, he kept the legs moving so that there was no whistle. So big gain on first down. Stark again with a direct snap, and he just keeps the legs churning. That's a pretty good gain when he carries 3 guys with him to gain 3-4 yards. Keegan Smith and Nick Thomas in on the tackle. Good to see Thomas back in the game after he was hobbled a little bit. You knew that unless it was something really serious, Nick Thomas was going to be back in this game.
He was coming back. One thing about Stark, too, he always has good body lean. He's always going forward, as well as being patient with good vision. He's a really fine running back.
Call it a gain of 3 on first down. Montague trying to drive for a tying touchdown. Direct snap again to Sebastian Archer in the backfield. You'll see this from time to time. We've seen it quite a bit on the last 2 drives. The direct snap to either Stark or Archer. Dalton and Thomas in on the tackle that time, but really a gain of -1, setting up 3rd and long for the Wildcats of Montague. They want to talk it over. As the clock ticks down to under a minute and a half to go in the first half. They'll burn their 2nd timeout of the first half. Take a look at Lumen Christi again. They just turned into one of the great football powers in the state. Jackson, Michigan. A town of just over 30,000. History that goes back almost 200 years. I'm sorry. Yeah, almost 200 years. I got my math right. 47 MHSAA titles in the last 43 years in all sports, boys and girls. Going for a 3rd consecutive football championship and an 11th overall for that man, Herb Brogan. You mentioned it earlier, but it's worth repeating. 5th all-time in Michigan history with 355 wins. So 3rd and long. What are you thinking here, John? Given the penetration for Jackson, Lumen Christi, it looks like Montague's trying to counter by a lot of the direct snaps. What do you like right here on 3rd and 6?
Well, I think they're gonna be in some kind of obviously a spread, and they're gonna try to get one of these guys on a post or get that slot guy on a wheel route up the sideline here. He's gonna throw the ball. What do I know?
The give up the middle, big hole for Stark, stiff arm, touchdown.
Spread him out and run the ball.
21-yard touchdown carry for Bryce Stark. Big hole up the middle. It's just what you said.
That's why he's coaching and we're commentating. They spread him out, and that time they gave it to Stark. A great block that time where he sealed and allowed Stark that opportunity. Here's another stiff arm. Here we go.
Textbook.
Old school.
Vanderleest and Ian Yost on that front line throwing 2 big blocks to free Stark. It was a huge hole. He's got 8 carries, 104 yards. Now the extra point is up, and it is good. David Ramsey with the extra point. Big plays today in the Division VI championship game, and we've got a heck of a game shaping up. The turnover by Lumen Christi with just under 3 minutes to go, setting up that touchdown drive for Montague. Love the sky cam look.
You got a great view here. The field spread. Watch him seal down. Stark makes a great cut there to get into the end zone. You cannot get him in the open field. That's very, very difficult for a defensive back. And when you have that kind of field position after a turnover, those things come back to haunt you, and Montague capitalized on it just as they needed to do.
A good adjustment by Montague. I mean, they knew that right now it's difficult for Drew Collins to throw because of the pressure, and they just stuck to the ground right there, and it worked very well. And again, credit to Stark for that first down carry of 18 yards when it looked like he had nothing. Now Lumen Christi has 1 timeout left. They certainly can strike quickly. We've seen that. Ramsey will kick off. Fitzpatrick, Kyer Johnson deep for Lumen Christi. Heck of a first half in the Division VI championship game, tied at 14. Ramsey's kickoff. 15-yard line. Fitzpatrick will be stood up as he crosses the 25 and brought to the ground. Time for a Hungry Howie's game summary. As we look at how this first half has unfolded, Bryce Stark has had a heck of a day. Look at the tackle, breaking 57-yard touchdown run. And then somehow, he gets 18 on the first carry of the drive after the turnover, and then great blocking, waits for the hole, stiff arm, gets him into the end zone. Bryce Stark with 8 carries, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Quick toss right side Thomas. Will Lumen Christi be content to run it out? Luke Marsh brings him down after a gain of 7. They are going to use timeout call. Time called as we see what the flag is about.
You know, you don't often hear a coach call a high school running back patient. And when Coach Collins said that about Stark earlier in the week, I said, you know, I want to watch that. And it's really been true. He doesn't rush anything.
Face mask on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Well, that might change the thinking of Herb Brogan now. Take a look at Bryce Stark. Yeah, patient. I mean, that just means he's got good vision. He knows where his blocks are supposed to be. We certainly saw it on that touchdown run. Very impressive numbers, averaging 13 yards a carry. Remember, Nick Thomas for Lumen Christi averages 10 yards a carry, so he is a big play back. The fake, Barrett will run it, and that's good defense by Montague, although Barrett keeps the legs going, and he's going to gain an extra few yards as a result. Clock counting down under 50 seconds. Hunter Mosier finally brings him down after a gain of almost 8 on first down.
Good ball handling there by Barrett. Nice fake. Kept his head down, kept the ball close to his body, and really froze that Montague defense, allowed him to pick up some good yardage.
We talked about Herb Brogan and his 355 wins. Here's the list of the guys who are ahead of him. You know John Harrington. We saw him in the finals last year. Farmington Hills Harrison, of course. Al Fracassa, long time at Brother Rice. Tom Mock and Mike Boyd. Two guys with over 400. Herb Brogan certainly seems to be enjoying what he does. He might get to that 400. Magical, really, figure. 400 career wins.
So impressive. You talk about Mount Rushmore of Michigan high school football coaches. He's in some great company.
So the last time out for Lumen Christi, they had the big 40-yard touchdown strike to Kyer Johnson. You wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to put the ball up again. Not really, even if they get 20 yards or so, there's not going to be a field goal attempt, most likely. And they will just continue to go for it until the seconds tick out. Looking downfield, he's got his big tight end Keller. And that's a big gain on first down. 15 yards inside the 30. Well, what a target Keller is. This is a kid who's done a heck of a job getting himself into terrific shape. He was a lineman at 270, now a tight end at 240. 6'4", 240. And he has been the big threat, averaging almost 20 yards a catch for Herb Brogan's offense. Barrett spikes it. They'll set up 2nd and 10. Again, no timeouts left now for Jackson Lumen Christi.
I'll tell you, Barrett does a real nice job then throwing to his left on the run. That's not very easy, especially for a high school quarterback. He gets his shoulders square and does a great job delivering his ball when he's rolling to the left.
Out of the shotgun with Thomas in the backfield with him. Thomas giving him a big block deep down the right sideline, and that's going to be overthrown. He was looking down in the end zone for Bobby Willis. Bobby Willis has not been a big part of the passing game this year. It's been mostly Kyer Johnson and Dayton Keller.
They tried to run Willis on a corner route. He ran a post, leaned inside, then broke to the corner. Nice job defensively there on Montague. Very, very good job. Sebastian Archer was not fooled at all on that post move.
So 4 down territory. It's 3rd and 10. No timeouts left. 26 seconds to go in the first half. A highly entertaining first half of football in the Division VI championship game. Barrett has time. Down the seam, he was looking. He had an open man, but neither receiver, I don't think, was looking for that ball. That was Carter Reynolds, the intended receiver, I think.
Yeah, they didn't get a little miscommunication there. There wasn't a lot of separation either between the two receivers, and looked like they weren't on the same page on that one.
Yeah, really lucky that wasn't picked off.
Yeah.
So 4th and 10. Jackson fans below us get on their feet. The Montague fans across the way on their feet. Lumen Christi trying to get on the board with one more score before the first half expires. Barrett is going to roll right. Pressure. Throws and intercepted. He could not find his receiver. Sebastian Archer with the pickoff. Well, it would have been better to let it go, but what are you going to do? Drop the ball? No.
On the run then, just an out cut. He let the ball go. Archer, nice job, kept his feet in bounds. Picked it off. It's going to give them one more opportunity. They'll probably down it and get out of here in a 14-14 halftime slugfest.
He had Bobby Willis, but as you mentioned, really good throwing, running to his left and throwing. We saw that time running to his right. Now, he was under heavy pressure, but not quite as accurate rolling to his right. So almost surely with 15 seconds left, we'll run the clock, but they are in a spread formation. Collins will give it off. And some space up the middle. Stark stepping out of one tackle, looking for some space. Man, is he hard to bring down.
You better wrap him up, Dan. I don't know if they figured that out yet, but you better wrap that lad up.
17 yards on the carry. Finally brought down by the nose tackle. Patrick Lucas, 17 yards downfield. 4 seconds to go in the first half. Given all the big plays that we have seen, Montague at least wants to talk it over. So clearly they've got something in mind to try here at the end of the first half other than just downing the ball, killing the clock, and going into halftime content to be tied at 14. Pat Collins, the head coach, in his 15th year, he's got an idea of what he wants to do right here. Herb Brogan across the way. Touchdown runs of 57 yards for both teams. Passing play for Jackson Lumen Christi of 40 yards and a 21-yard touchdown run by Bryce Stark, all here in the first half, and that's how we are tied at 14. Hey, fans, you can help us end hunger and waste in our communities with Kroger's Zero Hunger, Zero Waste initiative. It's easy. Just text the word Zero Hunger to 248-710-0129 to donate now. Again, that's Zero Hunger to 248-710-0129 to help Kroger fight hunger in our communities. Last play of the first half in a 14-14 game. Montague on their own 32. Archer, the lone back in the backfield. And he will run it right side into the open field. Has some downfield blockers. Cuts it back inside. It'll be a long gain. But Lumen Christi finally brings him down as he gets close to their 40-yard line again. The nose tackle, Lucas, way downfield to make the stop after a gain of 27. Both teams have played a very strong first half. It's Montague who ends the first half perhaps with a little bit of the momentum. That young man had a big first half on both sides of the ball, John Wengler.
He really did. He was all over the field. He got digged up. Watch him make a couple nice run here. Ball got ripped out, and then he bounced right back. Here he is making another cut, keeping his feet moving. Again, couple shallow cuts, stiff arm, just won't go down. Here he is weaving his way through.
14 carries, 130 yards in the first half for Thomas. Let's go down to the field. Brooke Fletcher is with head coach Herb Brogan.
Coach, how are you feeling about your team's performance this first half?
Well, I thought we played fairly well in the middle of the first half, but we started poorly, we ended poorly. We can't turn the ball over against a good football team like this. We've turned it over twice. Can't repeat that.
Bryce Stark's giving your defense, he's challenging your defense. What are you going to do? What adjustments are you going to make the second half in order to contain him?
Well, I think we got to tackle. I mean, kid's a tough running back. He doesn't go down very easily. And the second drive there, we just, we didn't finish. And we got to do that. Got to gang tackle him.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Dan.
All right, Brooke, thank you. Both teams with big first half, big plays. Two running backs, Stark and Thomas, with big first halves. We are tied at 14 in the Division VI championship game.
The importance of higher education in my family was the main goal for us. Our goal was to graduate from college debt-free. And thanks to the programs at My Student Aid, we were able to do that.
I didn't know how much we were supposed to be saving for college. Nobody was putting that money aside for me from birth or kindergarten on.
Sometimes we'll see students 2, 3, sometimes even 4 years out of high school that call in, and we can happily say, yes, you're still eligible for this program.
Gotta make it happen. Yeah, you do.
This may look like a few dollars,
But it's way, way more.
to a foster child, it's a pathway to extracurricular activities.
To join the soccer team.
To keep up in school.
To explore new places.
Make new friends.
And just be a kid.
It's a chance to build confidence.
Learn new stuff.
Get ready for college.
Maybe even go to prom.
Visit tickettodream.org and learn how you can help foster kids just be kids.
There's no doubt that Sunday is the best day for football. Friday Night Lights.
How about Saturdays here?
Stream Red Wings hockey all season long with the Fox Sports app.
Yes, sir. Right to the feature. Ferris State head coach Tony Annese has coached football in Michigan for over 30 years. At the high school, junior college, and college levels, he reflects with us now on his career and the game itself.
I'm Tony Annese, head football coach at Ferris State University.
That's been Tony Annese's title for the last 7 years, one of many he's held in a football journey that's taken him to sidelines all over the state of Michigan.
I was 26 years old, and I'm like, I want to be a head coach. And so I got the Montrose head coaching job, and was there 8 years. And then I took the job at Ann Arbor Pioneer. I was there 2 years, left to go to Jenison High School on west side of the state, was there 3, and then left to coach the Big Reds of Muskegon High School, and had 9 great years there. Grand Rapids Community College had an opening. They came calling. That was really a great experience for me. And then there 3 years, and the Ferris State job opened.
He's won at every stop along the way, 225 and 45 at the high school and junior college levels. He won 3 state titles at Muskegon, led Grand Rapids Community College to a pair of national titles, and has now built Ferris State into a national championship contender.
To the 10, 5, touchdown Bulldogs!
And I really never thought about being a college coach, but it just worked out this way. And it's been, you know, I feel blessed because being a high school coach for 22 years as a head coach was awesome. But then you get a chance to taste this and have an opportunity to experience this. And there's goods and bads to both, but you know, the change in experiences, I think, reinvigorates you as a coach, and that's been awesome.
All right, a lot of energy. Here we go. Big day.
And you've done nothing but win since you've been here, and really everywhere you've gone. What do you attribute that success to?
Love. I think that love is a big part of you know, our process. Love amongst the players. And I want my coaches, I tell them, you know, when I interview them, you know, the #1, you know, job description I have is you've got to love your players, and they got to love you. And when that is a force of reality, then I think that all the rest of it is pretty easy.
I know he loves me genuinely, so, you know, me and him have a good relationship. And, you know, the first thing that comes to my mind is that he's a loving person, loving, genuine, and, you know, nurturing kind of guy.
How do you know he loves you personally?
He tells me every day. He always tries to hug and kiss me. I don't let him kiss me, though.
Nice score! Good job!
Which stop along the way has had the greatest influence on you as a coach?
The Muskegon stop had the greatest influence on me. You know, you end up learning as a coach at some point in your career that it's not about you, it's about the young people you serve. It was mind-blowing how badly young people needed you at Muskegon, and it was awesome too. It obviously reinforces the reasons why you want to be a coach.
That perspective and his success has given him a view of football in this state that few have enjoyed or can appreciate.
And people are so passionate about football in the community. So, you know, people could say, well, what was your favorite job? I could go back to Montrose tomorrow and feel like, wow, that was just unbelievable. I can't imagine it being this way everywhere, but just the way people just love football in the communities, it's beyond anything I've ever seen.
And Ferris State will have a second-round game in the Division II football playoffs against Northwestern Missouri State tomorrow afternoon. We wish them, Tony Nese, the very best. MHSA High School Football Finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Ford Motor Company. Go further. And by IBEW Local 58, the best contractors, the best electricians, period.
Dear Dr. Beekman, when I first found out I had been diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, I was in shock and disbelief. Days later, I was introduced to an amazing team of doctors, a team I will never forget. I knew in that moment I would make it through the storm. You cared for me, never seeing myself as just another cancer patient. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Bring all the gifts for under the tree. And while you're at it, bring the tree. Ford F-150. Best-in-class payload. Best-in-class towing. Built for the holidays.
Now with Black Friday cash, current AZ Plan lessees can lease a Ford F-150 for only $139 a month for 24 months, with $27.59 due at signing.
Looking for an amazing deal this holiday? Then don't miss the Xfinity Black Friday sale with the ultimate in-home Wi-Fi experience from America's best internet provider and Xfinity X1, which lets you find Netflix and coming soon, Amazon Prime Video with just your voice. Sign up through November 27th and get a $100 prepaid card. It's simple, easy, awesome.
Get Xfinity TV and internet with up to 150 megabits per second download speed and HBO included for a year. Plus, get $100 back. Hurry, click, call, or visit us today.
Football Week in Michigan is here, only on your Fox networks.
Lions Game Plan, Thursday on Fox Sports Detroit.
The MHSAA High School Football Finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Baker College. Be more. Wolverines fans, you can join us tomorrow. Beacon Park in Detroit. It's the ultimate Michigan-Ohio State watch party starting at 10 tomorrow morning. We'll give away apparel, tickets, and more. That's tomorrow at Beacon Park in Detroit. Halftime, 14-14 tie in the Division VI championship game.
Don't just think of it as half off late night apps at Applebee's. It's half off the after party, half off the first date, half off girls' night. Late night half-priced apps, only at Applebee's.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student-athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Don't just think of it as half off late night apps at Applebee's. It's half off the after party, half off the first date, half off girls' night. Late night half-priced apps, only at Applebee's.
Halftime of the Division VI championship game, tied at 14, Montague and Jackson Lumen Christi. Well, you can check out what the coaches and players are saying after the game by punching up MHSAA.tv for live coverage of the press conference from this game. Highly entertaining first half. John Wengler and I are back to look at some of the highlights after this.
When it comes to health insurance, what's your plan? Mine's Physicians Health Plan, and for good reason. PHP is right here in mid-Michigan. So if I'm looking for a new doctor or managing my meds, I like that I can just stop by their office if I have any questions. They're always there to help, and that's reassuring. So is the fact that they cover me across an entire network of providers. they've got me covered. Physicians Health Plan. Everything you want a health plan to be.
Gotta make it happen. Yeah, you do. You got it. You got it. Gotta make it happen. Yeah, you do. You gotta make it happen. It's all on you.
I think my ride's due for an upgrade.
There's more than one way to fly. Great deals all month long at the Dodge Black Friday event. Or well-qualified returning employee lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2018 Dodge Durango GT for $299 a month.
At the half, Dan Dickerson and John Wangler. And John, there were big plays all over this first half. Two guys really stood out, Thomas and Stark.
They really did. We had two 57-yard runs, one by Stark, one by Thomas. And then Stark came back with another big run, 40-yard run. So big plays. And then we had Barrett throwing down to Kyer Johnson. Here we go. Here's Stark, his first big 57-yard run. Watch him keep those feet moving, his patience, the vision. I could watch him run all day. Here's Stark coming through, made a couple nice cuts. He's been a demon on defense and offense, both ways being an impact player.
Thomas has been tremendous in the first half.
Here we go. Here's Barrett throwing to a wide open Kyer Johnson. He froze the safety. The corner had to fall back in. Great play, great execution. Here's Stark's last touchdown run. Look at that vision. Oh, old school straight arm right there, Dan. Touchdown.
I tell you, that was after the turnover. He made two big runs in that half. Let's take a look at the first half stats. The running even, passing yards advantage Lumen Christi.
Yeah.
But really, coming into the game, we thought it was the Wildcats who had the better passing attack. But Lumen Christi hasn't given, so far, Drew Collins any room.
Well, they've done a great job play action. Lumen Christi has. The big thing that stands out to me are the turnovers, right? 3-1, in favor. And they've been a big plus-minus team, Montague. And as Coach mentioned at halftime, they got to tighten down those turnovers.
Very, very impressive first half. Big plays, and we're looking for more of the same in the second half. 2 periods of football to go in a 14-14 game.
Okay, one more.
All right, Benji.
Come on,
Benji.
yes, smile. Come on,
What about the flash?
Okay, one more. Benjamin, hold it
Make a flash,
sideways.
Benji. You have to back it up. You want to get everybody in. You can't get everybody in unless you back up.
He did it.
There you go.
I think he got it.
Take another shot. Take one more.
I think I blinked.
Escape to football at Buffalo Wild Wings and try our new game day menu featuring $5 cheeseburgers and fries, brats, cocktails, and pitchers.
It's Toyota's Black 8 Days, and we want to make sure you get the message that you have just 8 days to get an extraordinary deal on a new Toyota. 8 days to get $1,500 cash back on the last of the 2018 Camrys, $2,000 back on the stylish 2019 Corolla, or get $3,000 cash back on the best-selling 2018 RAV4. Hurry to Toyota's Black 8 Days. How many more ways can we tell you? Toyota, let's go places.
It means a lot being a Michigan alum. So to be back here playing in Michigan means a lot. It's a second home to me, and I'm happy to be back out here on the court. It's nothing like Michigan football. There's 110,000 people in the fans every single game. Just being in the student section, going down to the front row and in front of all those fans, and I just become into a fanboy again for the game and the love of football. It's nothing like Michigan football.
Pistons basketball on Fox Sports Detroit. Where will you watch? Stream live Pistons games on the Fox Sports app.
We're getting ready for what we anticipate will be a very entertaining second half after a wild first half. 14-14 tie in the Division VI championship game. Our Brooke Fletcher is down on the field with the head coach of Montague, Pat Collins.
Coach, what was the message to your team during the halftime?
Well, we're not really executing very well right now offensively, so we're just trying to establish that and get settled down a little bit. They're doing some things that causes that, but our guys have done some things that we usually don't do, so we're just trying to settle in a little bit.
What adjustments do you have to make in order to steal the win?
Well, we got to be able to run the ball. They've done a good job stopping the run. We got in some 3rd and longs. We can't be in 3rd and long. We need to establish the ground game in the second half.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
John, we saw again the team coming in with a better passing game by the numbers was Montague. 8 yards passing in the first half because of some sacks and heavy pressure, consistent heavy pressure by Jackson Lumen Christi. What are some of the things, if you're Pat Collins, you're thinking about to make that halftime adjustment? So they have to be able to throw the ball. I know he talked about the running game. The passing game has been shut down.
Well, what he meant when he said that, Dan, he has to establish the run, and that will open up the pass, right? So those guys are bringing heavy pressure. He's got to slow that pressure down by being able to run the football, keep those linebackers home, that defensive line home, and then their passing game will be able to be executed.
Salazar will kick off, low line drive. This one will get all the way to the end zone for the automatic touchback. It's a good job by Salazar to keep it away from those 2 deep men, and Montague will take over for the first time today. Poor for them starting field position. They've been across their own 40-yard line most of their possessions. Look at the comparison. Pretty nice comparison in the first half. Stark 121 yards. Thomas with 130. Thomas averaged almost 10 yards a carry through the first 13 games. He's right there with one more good carry. And Stark, who averaged about 7 yards a carry because of those big gains and the way he keeps the legs churning, averaging 13 yards a carry.
Yeah, it's got to give both those coaches confidence. When you got guys like that who can hand the football to, you're always going to be in the football game.
Again, the direct snap to Archer. Remember, he's been a quarterback. He has run out of this formation every time. But the shoulder that prevented him from coming back and taking back his old job, a separated shoulder, is healed, or at least certainly to the point you wouldn't be surprised, we haven't seen it yet, that he might throw out of that formation at some point.
Well, they're setting some things up, right? You know, Jackson took away some of the stuff that they wanted to do going into the game. So they're setting some things up here for down the line in the 4th quarter.
Archer is the senior. Collins is the sophomore. Archer's going to hand it off, and wow, just smothering defensive work by Lumen Christi. Kelly leading a host of tacklers there. Kyer Johnson in there as well. That front line of Smith, Lucas, Saunders. Other than some big plays. Now, there have been some big plays that have irritated Herb Brogan, but they've really done a pretty good job.
Well, and they've settled in. You know, they got that big offensive line there of Montague, and this defensive line for Jackson is really starting to settle in and make some plays.
2 of 6 on 3rd down for Montague. Collins back now to get the snap out of the shotgun. Under pressure again, and he's going to be brought down. Had time for a moment, and then Saunders, Keller, Thomas haul him down for a loss of 5.
I think our guy, Lucas, our little step-around middle guard, made a tremendous play there and got through. Nice job. Collins tried to hang in there and step up. I'll tell you, Lucas has been giving them fits all day, Dan.
Giving away 80 pounds to Evan Eilers, and he just ended up beating him and ending up getting the tackle. Skycam brought to you by Baker College. High end over end punt is not going to go very far. It will get a favorable bounce for Montague across the 50-yard line. And Jackson Lumen Christi, after a punt of 34 yards, will take over with good field position to start the second half in a 14-14 game. John, I keep thinking about that one route and how simple it was for Kyer Johnson because of the play fake to Nick Thomas. You would think we're going to see more from Kyer Johnson at some point here in the second half. I know Thomas is going to run the ball, but it certainly seems like Kyer Johnson is just waiting for another big play.
Well, it's him, Dan, and Dayton Keller. They're trying to isolate Keller, and they have not been able to successfully, but you wait and see. They'll come back to him.
big hole left side. Good blocking up front. Ian Moran, Patrick Lucas, Brennan Schwartz on the tackle. That's a gain of 6 on first down. Johnson, Willis come out. Barrett gets the call from the sideline. Joe Barrett, a senior, threw for just under 1,200 yards coming into this game. 11 touchdowns. He can run the ball, too. We haven't seen him run it a lot today because of that guy who's been so effective. Runs into somebody right at the first down marker and then fights ahead and gets the first down. A gain of 5. Kenyon Johnson brings him down. So Lumen Christi takes advantage of the good field position, immediately picks up a first down. Willis, Kyer Johnson will check back in.
I'll tell you, that fullback there, Delton Langley, he does a great job on those toss sweeps. I don't think he gets enough credit. He's been leading those and kicking that end outside linebacker out. Just really leading those sweeps, allowing Nick Thomas to do what he does.
Not a big guy, 5'9", 170. And you're right, we've seen him throw big blocks and a couple of big runs from Thomas. High snap. This time Bennett will carry. Barrett will carry it himself. I'm not sure that was a design play. But Drew Collins made the open field tackle.
That was a broken play. And high snap forced Barrett to make an athletic play, catch it, and then make a couple nice moves, salvaging that play. That could have been disastrous. Credit to Barrett keeping his composure and then picking up, 5-6 yards.
Could have easily been negative yardage. His head coach, Herb Brogan, said, he plays within the system, but he's so talented. He said he's capable of more. Thomas on the quick toss. Bangs over a tackler inside the 30-yard line. Gains an extra 3-4 yards with good, hard running. The motor on this young man just never stops. The 6', 205-pound senior.
Great job again there by Thomas picking up yardage. Langley leading him again. They run that toss sweep into the short side of the field. You don't see that a lot. That's a great call, bringing that ball. You expect them to run wide on a toss sweep. They come back into the short side of the field. Very effective play, picking up a first down there.
That was Schwartz, leading tackler from Montague. Tried to bring him down, but you try to tackle Nick Thomas high. Not going to work.
Good luck.
1st and 10 from just outside the 25-yard line. The give up the middle, and absolutely nothing there. A late flag comes out. That was Thomas, who was smothered. One of the few times he just hasn't had any room or hasn't been able to create something.
Personal foul. Face mask on the defense. 15 yards. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's a tough one there for Montague. They had him stopped on a dive, and we're not stopping Thomas often. And to come up with that, especially at this position on the field, is a tough break for Montague.
Big penalty. The step off half the distance. Inside the 15 now. Brogan has a quick word with Joe Barrett. All the plays coming from the sidelines. He comes over after every play. Kyer Johnson comes out. Second time today that Montague has been flagged for a face mask. 2 big penalties. Jackson Lumen Christi trying to break a 14-14 tie. Keller in motion. The quick toss. Thomas quickly covered. It looked like for a moment he had some running room, but great closing speed. Mark Vanderleest leading the way after a gain of 3 for Thomas. Look at the penalties today. So the 2 face masks, 3 penalties, 44 yards for the Wildcats. Herb Brogan has to be happy as the Titans have only been whistled for 1 penalty of 10 yards. 2nd and 7 from just outside the 10-yard line for Jackson Lumen Christi, trying for a 3rd consecutive state championship in Division 6. Johnson, Willis split to the near side. Thomas on the quick toss to the wide side of the field. Steps out of one tackle. and had a breathing room for a moment before being smothered after a short gain. Sam Welch, senior defensive end, brought him down. It's just rare that the first guy who meets up with Nick Thomas brings him down. It's always the second or the third or the fourth, if anybody does.
Well, that was great pursuit by Montague, and Vanderleest, middle linebacker, he got out there as well. So they're starting to get used to, that sweep. They're setting something up. You can watch for a reverse or something at some point because they're starting to pursue very well.
Under center, Bennett, short toss. Thomas, big hole, touchdown. Second touchdown of the day for Nick Thomas. What a day he is having on both sides of the ball.
Here it is, a power eye, little toss sweep. Watch the fullback make a nice block there again, and they sealed on the inside.
You mentioned Delton Langley before. That's, again, all day long he's been doing that. He and Keller have been leading those sweeps time after time after time.
Every time, Dan. They put him in motion, Keller in motion, and Langley just kicks out. What a great football play. Nothing fancy.
Extra point for Kevin Salazar is up and good. Nick Thomas with his second touchdown of the day. Great blocking up front. And the Titans of Lumen Christi with a 7-point lead.
Football Week in Michigan is here, only on your Fox networks.
That young man, already 160 yards on the ground. Great blocking up front. He's making things happen. Heck of a day so far. And there's lots of time left for this senior running back, Nick Thomas.
Well, and he's doing it on defense as well. He's been all over the field making plays. And I'll tell you, he's a tremendous football player. And when he has that kind of blocking in front of him, and they don't do anything fancy, Dan. They do a toss sweep, and they're basic. They do some traps inside, and they just set up the pass with play action. But you could tell that they are very well coached because it's repetition. And these guys, they don't make mistakes. They've rebuilt their line, and coming after a Montague team like they are, they're undersized compared to them, and they're definitely moving this football.
Salazar with a line drive kick, bobbled, picked up. 25-yard line, 30, and across the 40-yard line. Boy, it looked like the ball almost popped out. Flag late. One of the up men on the return, that was Nick Stever, and he really made something out of nothing. Usually those low line drive kicks, oftentimes you don't see a big return. You can see they're going to...
ball. Personal foul. Late hit after the play on the receiving team. 15 yards. First down.
A rare late call on the team receiving the ball. Well, let's take a look at Nick Thomas and the day he has had, John.
Here he is, weaving through, breaking through on that first touchdown in the first half and just tracked me to the end zone. Here he is on the toss sweep, fouling his blockers, bowling into the end zone here.
And you're right, Montague knows what's coming. It's going to be Keller in motion on the kick out, and then the fullback Delton Langley is going to be downfield blocking.
He's going to pick up the linebacker or the outside line or the defensive end.
Up the middle give here. Woo. Nothing going. Gang tackling. A loss of 1 on first down. Helmet pops off of Nick Thomas. 7 tackles. He's got a sack and a half today. And he a little bit hobbled as he comes off. He plays both ways, and he plays, it seems like, every down out there.
Looks like he may be cramping up a little bit. And that's one of the things when you're used to playing outdoors all season long, and then you come into a dome where it's hotter and the pressure, that really can affect your hydration.
Snap is fumbled, popped in the air, and Jackson Lumen Christi says they have it, and they do. It went awry right from the start, and Dayton Keller ended up corralling it. Direct snap to Stark, and he never got a handle on it.
Looks like Keller popped that ball loose, and that was the break that Jackson was looking for. They needed that for a momentum swing, and huge break there for Jackson. It was a high snap. It looked like he took his eye off the ball for a minute because he was trying to see where the line was, and then that gave Keller a chance to pop that ball free.
This becomes a big moment. That's another two-way player, obviously, for Jackson Lumen Christi. Keller, too, has had a big day. Not necessarily putting up the stats, but he's been all over. He's been blocking, and defensively, he's been a force.
And he's been a big target receiving-wise.
Give is up the middle to Kyer Johnson. Doesn't carry the ball a ton, but he's got some running room here. He keeps the legs churning, and that's a big pickup on first down. Gain of 9. This is a big moment for Montague, John.
Yeah, this would be, they got to get some kind of stop. If they'd hold him to a field goal, it'd be a victory. One thing about Jackson, they never lose their composure. They just continue to do what they do. They've been very calm. Barrett does a good job keeping these guys under control. And obviously, there's a reason they're the 2-time defending state champions.
So Thomas still out. That's Kyer Johnson deep. And he'll get the quick toss. Playing the role of Nick Thomas and doing it quite well. Another big pickup on first down. Mark Vanderleest on the tackle. That quick toss has been really unstoppable today for Jackson Lumen Christi. Early on, they weren't getting a whole lot inside. Then they got the big run on a toss sweep to Nick Thomas, and it's awfully tough to stop. That downfield blocking, can't say enough good things about that line and the guys who are in motion and blocking downfield.
Well, they're getting those corners sealed, Dan, so they're sealing that defensive line, and they're able to get to the edge.
Again, Johnson up the middle. He's not a big guy, and he's running into some big guys. They couldn't bring him down. Kyer Johnson listed at 5'10", a solid 175. Evan Eilers and Jordan Aguilera on the stop that time, but again, they never actually got him to the ground. 2nd and goal from outside the 5. Delton Langley's thrown so many good blocks, checks back into the game. Joe Barrett brings the play in from the sidelines. Big moment for Montague. Lumen Christi trying to make it 3 straight state championships. On the verge of adding another touchdown to give them a 14-point lead. Johnson up the middle and stacked up after a very short game. Luke Marsh leading the charge that time, along with Walker Martin, sophomore defensive tackle for Montague. Big play right here, John. You would think you can picture that toss sweep one more time. I don't picture putting it in the air, do you?
No, you know, he may go a little play action on this one. Lee Keller into the flat. That might not be a bad call at this time, but they have had great success, obviously, with this with the toss sweep. Now they got Keller in the backfield. It's a power eye.
And they will throw it. Under pressure, has a man. Keller, touchdown.
I got to put my coaching hat back on.
Great throw by Barrett. Terrific reception by the big tight end.
Great call. Great call. Third down. Here it is. You got Keller coming out of the backfield, leaking into the flat. Great toss there by Barrett. Going to his left again, where he's very confident. And anytime you get that big tight end Keller out in the flat, he's a mismatch. Very well-executed football play, good timing.
And Kevin Salazar is a perfect 4 for 4 on his extra points. A turnover by Montague. And Jackson Lumen Christi takes advantage of the touchdown pass from Joe Barrett to Dayton Keller. And Lumen Christi with a 14-point lead. Touchdown Falcons! In the end zone with a huge play.
The MHSAA Championships starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow on Fox Sports Detroit.
Gotta make it happen. Yeah, you do.
I just love being around the kids and love being around the coaching staff.
You're going to lose once in a while, and you got to know how to handle it.
Made in Michigan, coaching legends. Check your local listings.
Welcome back. Jackson Lumen Christi, 28, Montague 14. It's been a great third quarter so far. Watch the blocking that we see here. These toss sweep. You got Keller, and then you got the fullback Langley. We've been talking about him all day long, just kicking out that outside linebacker or that defensive end. Here it is to the other side. Nothing fancy, but they're sealing that defensive line and getting to the second level. And once you get Nick Thomas to the second level, anything can happen.
You see on that play, receivers downfield blocking, Willis downfield blocking. We've also got Cole Simpson down there blocking. Short kickoff by Salazar. Great coverage. Stever on the reception. And that's Ryan Painter. We've seen him a couple of times today make some plays.
He's pretty excited. That was a great play. He's fired up.
So this is a big possession. We said big possession defensively for Montague after the turnover. Couldn't stop Lumen Christi. Now this Wildcats offense for Montague. This becomes a very big play. You're playing a two-time defending state champion with now playing with a ton of confidence in a 14-point lead. Johnny, it just seems like they have to be able to find a way to get that passing game going.
Yeah, and they have to counter punch here. You know, they're down 14. They have got to answer. Okay, they do not want to continue to let this thing get out of hand.
4 wideouts here. Collins will roll and throw right. Short gain, but good yardage after the catch. Kenyon Johnson, one of his first receptions of the day. A gain for him of 9 yards on first down.
Nice play by Collins. You know, they kept him in his comfort zone. They just rolled him to the right. That time Johnson just did a little outcut. Safe play. Very good, picking up 9 yards to get this drive started.
Play comes in from the sideline. No huddle right now for Montague. Down by 14, counting down the last minute and a half of the third quarter. It's been very tough for that young man to get the passing game going. But he certainly is a threat to ignite it at any time. He's just under heavy pressure. This ball is going to be intercepted by Willis. Underthrown, again pressure, and Jackson Lumen Christi gets it back.
Yeah, that happens sometimes when you're a young quarterback. I know he wished he had that ball back. The problem on that one for Montague, Schwartz did not get any separation from Willis. And that time, Collins was under some pressure, so he put the ball up. And the best thing he probably would have been was throw it out of bounds. But he let the ball go. Willis made a nice play coming back on that football.
So Lumen Christi takes over at their own 40. They're playing with a ton of confidence. And for Montague, that's bad news because they are right now, looks like they're hitting on all cylinders. Thomas back in the game after sitting out the last drive. The fake is to him. Barrett will keep. Looking for a block. Steps out of one tackle and gains almost 5 on first down.
Barrett did a nice job. A little misdirection. They tried to influence the linebackers to go to the wide side of the field. Barrett had a couple fakes in the backfield. Got out almost a bootleg and came up, made a nice move, picking up some good yardage there for 2nd and 5.
Counting down the final seconds of the third quarter. Impressive performance for Jackson Lumen Christi. Down early 7-0 in this game. They're having a tough time moving the ball. And then a big run from Thomas. They've been hard to stop ever since. Thomas up the middle. Big hole. Makes one man miss. 2 more into the open field with a downfield block. Makes another miss. He's finally brought down inside the 30 by Mark Vanderleest. Another big run for the senior. 26 yards for Nick Thomas.
He's going to have a heck of a highlight reel, I'll tell you that. Nothing fancy, just an inside isolation. This is all Thomas. Watch these cuts, a stiff arm. Won't go down. He's got another one in him here. Here we go. Nice cut. Back against the grain. He's going to sleep well tonight, I'll tell you.
I mean, that combination of stepping out of tackles and making guys miss. Unofficially, the count was 5 missed tackles on that run alone.
And they say he's a better defensive player.
He's going to get a little break as we reach the end of the third quarter. Jackson Lumen Christi, 12 minutes away from a 3rd consecutive state championship, leading by 14.
The ones who wake up every morning ready to take on the world. The ones who push their limits to be better than the rest. You're looking to join a team of leaders who want to be challenged. You want to be pushed to your limits. You value freedom and think you have what it takes. The ones with speed, strength, intellect, and determination. Michigan Army National Guard. We see you.
Anyone can deliver a box. But when you consider the source, no matter how you get your groceries, only Kroger can bring you the fresh, delicious food and quality products you already know and love. So check out while you're chilling. Shop online today.
I'm Warren Birkenhauer, proud IBEW member. My career began as a non-union electrician. I love the work, not the pay and the lack of benefits. When I joined the IBEW, my life changed. Now I earn great wages, benefits, and I'll be able to have a good retirement. I can take care of my family the way I want to, and that matters to me. The IBEW has made a huge difference in my life. If you're a good electrician looking to get paid what you're actually worth, then there's room for you in the IBEW.
Dear Mrs. Burns, when you first came to see us, what stood out was your courage and your dignity. You allowed our team to work as hard as you would to fight against your cancer. Your goal was the same as ours, to provide you with the most time to be around your young children. I recall the day when you went into remission and how your family joined in the celebration. Thank you for letting us care for you. Dr. Amit Mohindra.
Dan Dickerson and John Wangler, happy to have you along. Counting down the last 12 minutes of the Division VI championship game. Lumen Christi with a 14-point lead, going for a 3rd consecutive state championship. They have been impressive. This is the 3rd of 4 games. Reading beat Breckenridge in the Division VIII championship earlier today by 19. De La Salle won as well. Here's a give to Kyer Johnson, right side, touchdown. Kyer Johnson exploded for 29 yards, and Lumen Christi has opened up a 3-touchdown lead.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, man. Toss sweep. Bread and butter the whole day. Here it is, just a toss sweep to Kyer Johnson. Watch the fullback, huge block here. That's all you need. Kyer is fast enough. You just give him a second to get by that outside linebacker, and he's gone. Whether it's Nick Thomas or Kyer Johnson, the results are the same.
Delton Langley every time has thrown a big block downfield, and Kyer Johnson's eyes lit up as he just exploded. Watch the block from number 35, bang, and Kyer Johnson says thank you very much. No one has a chance once he's into open space. Let's go down to the field. Brooke Fletcher has a little more on that young man, Kyer Johnson.
Yeah, guys, Kyer, this is actually his first year with the program. He actually transferred from Jackson last year, but Coach Brogan said he fit right into this team, you guys. He was very impressed with his physical attributes and his quick feet that he's proving here today.
He sure is. Had to sub in for Thomas and did a nice job, and again, he gets the opportunity, gets the block, and makes the most of it. Jackson Lumen Christi has had 3 possessions in the second half, 3 touchdown drives, a 52-24 and 60 yards in a 14-14 game. It's suddenly a 35-14 game.
The other guy we've been talking about, Delton Langley, he's done a great job blocking. The other guy who had a great block was number 99, Dayton Keller. Catching balls, blocking. He's had an unbelievable game, as well as he's a key to that toss sweep.
Up to the 40-yard line, Nick Stever on the return after the kickoff from Kevin Salazar. Again, what's going on today? Reading over Breckenridge in Division A. De La Salle. Know a little bit about that program.
Go Pilots. Congratulations to Coach Giannone.
Beating Mona Shores, their second straight Division II title for Warren De La Salle, 13-point win. And then tonight we're looking forward, we'll be having in just a little bit the Chelsea-Edwardsburg game. We did Edwardsburg last year. They are an impressive team. They run the football. They run it some more. They're waiting right there in the crowd. They're an explosive team with lots of big plays. Few have been able to hold that team down this year. Archer and Stark in the backfield. Montague had the early 7-0 lead, but they have not been able to do a whole lot here in the second half. Their last 2 possessions, 2 plays and a fumble, 2 plays and an interception.
Well, they're going to have to throw the ball, Dan. There's no choice, obviously, right now. They have got to get this ball downfield, and whether they go into a hurry up, but the clock is not their friend at this point.
2 big targets are number 21, Kenyon Johnston, and number 6, Brennan Schwartz. He was the intended receiver on the interception on the last drive. That's Archer in motion to the right side. The give is up the middle, and there is nothing there. They're hoping that Bryce Stark maybe can break one, but he got stood up there by that young man, Brody Dalton, a sophomore linebacker for Jackson Lumen Christi.
There was good penetration by Saunders, number 81, on that one as well, to allow Dalton to line him up.
Pat Collins signaling the play in for his son, Drew Collins, who's had a tough time. Just not a lot of time in that pocket for his son. And as a result, they're sticking it to the ground, and there is nothing there. 3rd and 5 becomes 4th and 5. And you would think they have to go for it right here. It certainly says something about the pressure they have faced from Jackson Lumen Christi, John. They're sticking to the ground right here, hoping that one of their backs can break one like Bryce Stark.
Well, Coach Brogan has said that this defense has carried them all year, and it's certainly been evident today.
Archer and Stark in the backfield with Collins. Hard count, trying to get someone to jump. Instead, they will punt it away. So, nope, they're going to fake the punt, toss it right side, and get the first down. Bryce Stark. Stever's the one who dropped back for the punt. Or Archer did, and then he gave it to Stever. 6-yard gain and a first down for Montague.
Nice play here. Fake the punt. Coming back around here, giving to Steve. Throws a nice pass. Fights to pick up that first down. Keeps the drive alive.
And if flicker of hope still alive for Montague.
Nice job by Archer.
Give this to Stark up the middle, dragging Brody Dalton with him. He gets an extra few yards as he hops across the 45-yard line, picks up almost 5 on first down.
Stark on the carry. Brody Dalton brings the stop.
Look at how this game has unfolded quarter by quarter. Montague with a lead after 1, tied at the half at 14. All Jackson Lumen Christi in the second half. Big hole for Stark, and maybe a touchdown-saving tackle by Willis. Bobby Willis just tripped him up inside the 30. Otherwise, Stark might have taken it the distance again.
Willis has done a great job. He's made 2 interceptions. Watch this play here. Stark breaking free. Willis coming from his cornerback position to trip him up. Huge tackle there. A touchdown saving.
Collins will give to Stark again, but this is their big hope right now is that Stark can make a big play. Just gained 18. But they just don't feel like Drew Collins has enough time to throw, John. When he goes back, it's constant pressure. It's resulted in some turnovers. And they look like they're going to put their money on that young man and hopes on that young man to break one here down by 21.
The problem is the clock. You got to score 3 times, and you have got to get this ball in the end zone quickly to have any kind of shot.
Whistle blows. Ooh, man, they had Brendan Schwartz wide open, mainly because I guess the whistle blew.
Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
They've had some untimely penalties.
They sure have.
You know, that this whole game, they've had some tough ones that have taken the momentum out of drives.
If you're wondering, we haven't really seen it today, but Collins does have the arm to get the ball downfield. He's not been able to connect with one of his favorite targets, number 6, who just caught that ball after the whistle, Brendan Schwartz. Schwartz averages 22 yards a reception, but they just have not been able to get him going today. Stark again tripped up. Nick Thomas, who else? He's approaching double digits in tackles to go along with his big day on the offensive side of the ball. Approaching 200 yards on the ground. John, you say they like him better defensively, and that's what he's going to play at Air Force.
That's what the word is. You know, I think he can play anywhere he wants to play, but he is very, very good at closing. When he sees who the ball carrier is or where it's at, he closes extremely fast. A great trait for a defensive player.
Collins tries it over the middle. It deflects off of his favorite target, Brendan Schwartz. That's good defense by Jackson Lumen Christi. Schwartz had no room. The other number 6 on the other side, Wyatt Plate, is the one who knocked that ball away. And that sets up 4th and long. And obviously Montague's going to go for it, down by 21 and 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Big second half for Jackson Lumen Christi. It's been all Lumen Christi in the second half. Big turnover helped them and some big plays.
Well, you can sense that Lumen Christi is smelling blood, right? I mean, they really obviously have jumped out here on him, and you can see they're looking for a knockout punch.
4th and 8. Collins brought down in the backfield. Who else? Keller and Thomas have just about sealed this one for Lumen Christi.
Wow.
Incredibly consistent pressure.
You got Keller coming off the edge there, and Thomas, both of them, it's almost a race to the quarterback. Those two have been all over the field. They're 2 big play defensive players.
Lumen Christi headed to another state championship.
Confidence is knowing that I know and knowing that I know I can do. People are always trying to steal your confidence. At the same time, I'm trying to take theirs. Call me a confidence vampire. I'm trying to take all the confidence you got out of you. watch.
Jackson Lumen Christi leading by 21, trying for a third straight state championship in Division 6. Menards brings you the big money moment. Big money moment has included big runs by that young man, Nick Thomas. Kyer Johnson, this was explosive.
Watch that burst when he comes through that hole. No one's catching him there.
Give him a little bit of room and forget it.
Second touchdown, one in the air, one on the ground.
Thomas approaching 200 yards. He's got 188. He's got 10 tackles, 2 sacks. And quickly out of the huddle. Whistle blows. Jackson Lumen Christi trying to catch Montague. Not asleep necessarily, but trying to catch them with a quick break from the huddle and the quick snap. But the whistle blew as the ball was snapped. No penalty. I think there just hadn't been an indication from the officials that it was that whistle to get the play started.
Coach Cowles is confused there, wondering, asking the official what happened.
There was never any indication. Thomas, sweep right, big hole. Carrying tacklers with him across the 50-yard line and across the 200-yard mark for the day for the senior Nick Thomas.
Here it is again. Toss sweep right. Keep your eye there. Fullback making another great block, as well as the lineman moving down the field. Big number 68, Hunter Denton was leading that sweep, as well as Delton Langley.
Is there a category for most downfield blocks, MDB? I mean, Delton Langley, every time we show a replay, he's 10 yards downfield, 5-10 yards downfield, throwing a block. Every time there's a big game, he's been a part of it.
What a great asset, and what a great football player.
Lumen Christi now will just try to run some clock. Thomas again into the secondary. Great cut inside the 30, inside the 25-yard line before he's hauled down by Brennan Schwartz. Another big gain, this time 27 yards for Thomas.
He just made 3 great cuts after he got through the line of scrimmage. Here he is, nice shallow cut. Right there, there's 1, there's 2. We got more, 3. What a football player.
24 carries, 233 yards. And you could tell his shoulder was hurting when he came off the field. And he is in pain right now. Almost 10 yards a carry, just like all season long for Nick Thomas. Kyer Johnson running right side will be wrapped up. No gain on first down. Mark Vanderleest hauling him and throwing him to the ground.
Well, there's no quit in Montague. They're great pursuit there. Vanderleest, these guys are still flying around, so it says a lot about the kind of program they have. There's no quit in this Montague team.
Didn't see it, but maybe a little stinger there as he landed on his left shoulder. But he's smiling. It's like, hey, no big deal. 233 yards on the ground, 10 tackles, 2 sacks. That's a complete day.
He deserves a nice little hot bath with some Epsom salts tonight. Get to relax and enjoy the fruits of the victory.
Flag flies. Kyer Johnson, 2 flags fly. Johnson on the carry up the middle. Vanderleest again on the tackle for Montague. Flag flew just as the play started from the line judge.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Coach Brogan is starting to get some of his backups in, which is great. Give them an opportunity to get in the state championship football game. That's what you love to see.
And for the kids who are getting that chance, they will never forget it, even if it's one play.
It means so much. And you'd love to see when the coaches recognize that and put these kids in front of their parents and their classmates on the big stage.
2nd and long. Lumen Christi leading by 21. Fitzpatrick is the deep man. He'll get the quick toss. Running right side, another flag flies. He's got no running room at all. That came from the back judge.
Penalty flag on the play.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay.
Coming up next, Edwardsburg against Chelsea. We are looking forward to this matchup. Contrasting styles and two teams that can score a lot of points. Edwardsburg has been almost unstoppable since losing in a highly entertaining championship game last year. Chelsea has been very impressive under their first-year head coach. It's coming up. Kickoff at 7:30. Just about a half hour after this game ends. Fitzpatrick again is the deep man in the backfield. Barrett will give to him. And he's got some running room left side. Breaks out of a tackle into the end zone. Brock Fitzpatrick pads the lead for Lumen Christi.
He's not going to get left out of the party here. Nice second effort there by Brock Fitzpatrick, getting his chance. Looked like he was stopped, kept his legs moving, and accelerated into the end zone.
The concern for Herb Brogan-Howard, his team, a young, rebuilt offensive line matchup against Montague, a big, as he put it, college-sized defensive line. And you can't give enough credit to the guys we've been talking about, plus the offensive line. The line drive kick makes it over the crossbar. That young man gets a chance to contribute a 24-yard touchdown run. And Lumen Christi, minutes away from celebrating another state championship.
2 days only. Don't miss Menards' huge Black Friday sale. Doors open at 6 a.m. Friday. Hurry in for best selection. Get this 3-rack dishwasher for just $299 after rebate. This 1600 PSI pressure washer is $49.97. Keep your firearms secure with this 30-gun save. $279 after rebate. This drone takes photos and video. Just $29.99. Save on these and many more 2-day deals. Now through Saturday during Menards' Black Friday sale.
Save big money at Menards.
You ready, Darius?
Let's do it. Anybody want an autograph?
Autograph? We're here for the stuffed crust pizza.
Stuffed crust pizza? Hey, who do you think you are? End of the line, pal.
Flavor fanatics love stuffing their faces with our stuffed flavored crust. Get one for only $2 more on any large original round pizza.
Hungry?
Howie's!
The running game has been the difference in this game for Jackson Lumen Christi. And it's been a lot of Nick Thomas, but the other guys have gotten a chance. Kyer Johnson and now Brock Fitzpatrick have all gotten in on the fun, and that means those guys up front. Hunter Denton, Patrick Lucas, Ian Moran, Tommy Putnam, and Keegan Smith, along with Keller and Delton Langley, have all done a great job blocking and opening holes. Short kick again. Stever along that far sideline, pushed out of bounds. Youth. He was blasted out of bounds. Riley Eaker blasts him out of bounds. That's Riley Aker, the junior.
He'll remember that hit for a while.
Very satisfying.
Especially over on the Montague sideline.
We talk about the running game of Jackson Lumen Christi, their ability to put consistent and really intense pressure on Drew Collins all day has been the other big part of the story this afternoon as Lumen Christi heads toward an 11th championship. That's an incomplete pass off the hands of Kenyon Johnston. But Drew Collins has just not had any time to throw at any time today.
No, you're going against a two-time defending state champion. They got a lot of guys who've been there. They're coming after him. It's a tough task for a sophomore, here, and he'll learn from that. He'll work on it over the summer, and he'll be back. Obviously, he's got a lot of potential, and that whole system. I look forward to them having another big year. This is a learning experience. Sometimes you got to take steps, right, Dan?
That's right, and he said that's the thing that he's been impressed by his son this year. Not only the physical improvement, but just he's learned from the games where he's had a tough game. Had a tough game in Game 9 before the playoffs, and he responded very well in the playoffs. Through the rounds leading up to the state championship game, he pulls the ball down and takes off here. Good run for Collins as he crosses midfield, a gain of 14. And he's a little bit slow getting up. But for him and his offense, it would be big for them to score one more time today. Like you say, you can build off the little things. Lumen Christi, doesn't want to allow any more in the way of offensive production. Good toss, middle of the field, got a man, and taking it into the end zone is Brennan Schwartz. Favorite target all year, finally gets free, drags a man into the end zone with him. A 48-yard touchdown pass for Montague.
Collins did a great job looking off the defenders, Dan. Watch this. He looked to the left and then came right back on a post cut to Schwartz. That's the first time we were able to see them break him free all day. His favorite receiver got them here at the end zone, and
And what did he have that time? Time to throw.
All the difference in the world. But he bought some of that time because he looked off the defenders and they froze. It looked like he was going to go to the flat, and he came right back on a post and threw a strike to Schwartz. Well executed football play.
Got to be a good feeling for him after a very tough day. Extra point for David Ramsey is up and good. And Montague on the board for the first time in the second half. Still trailing by 21. We're looking for a lot more of Collins connecting with Brennan Schwartz today. And again, credit to Jackson Lumen Christi for taking what has been a dynamic duo of Collins and Schwartz, and really you add Kenyon Johnston into that mix. They both average 22 yards a catch. Both have been shut down today until that play where Collins connected with Brennan Schwartz.
But this is an offense that had over 5,000 yards total offense, and it well balanced.
Well balanced is right.
Run, pass, and credit to the defense of Jackson Lumen Christi. What a great job they did. Great game plan, and they took away the playmakers. What they did.
Yeah, you don't see too many high school teams with 5,000 yards total offense divided as evenly as Montague's has been passing and rushing.
In a perfect world, it's 60-40, and that's exactly what they were.
That's right.
Stark's going to get his yards on the ground, but they definitely they shut down that passing game, which was very, very impressive for that game plan.
That kick didn't go 10 yards, so that'll be a flag. As you could tell, Lumen Christi had all the good hands people up front. And that ball went out of bounds. Didn't go 10 yards, only 8 yards, so the flag flies. Lumen Christi will get the ball back with exactly 3 minutes to go, leading by 21 and trying for a third consecutive state championship. 3 turnovers in the first half, and that irritated Herb Brogan, and they've taken
bounds on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They've certainly taken care of the ball in the second half. And they'll just try to run the clock here. The thing is, when they run the clock, it can be a big play at any moment. Doesn't look like Thomas is going to come back into the game unless he is out there. Well, I think he might be out there right now. He is. I thought maybe he was going to stay out after the shoulder got dinged, his left shoulder. He carries the ball here and is smothered under. After a nice pickup on first down, right around 5 yards for Nick Thomas as he adds to a total that is already impressive. He's just about at 240 yards for the day, averaging 10 yards almost a carry.
Put it in perspective, it's hard enough to win one state championship. These guys, this will be their 3rd straight. I mean, it's tougher to win it after you've won it that first time. And what a tribute to Coach Brogan and the Jackson Lumen Christi football team.
That's Bobby Willis was trying to come off the field, and he just went down. He too might be cramping. Well, he's hurting a little bit more than that, perhaps. But that is number 7, Bobby Willis, being attended to by the trainer at midfield. He was trying to come off with Thomas, but he could not make it, and he went down. So we'll see if hopefully it's just something minor like a cramp, but he's definitely in some pain at the moment. But going back to what you talked about with Herb Brogan in this Jackson Lumen Christi program, I mean, power, as we talked about in the open, lost 16 starters from last year's championship team. Said, hey, we had to build an offensive line. My guy's pretty good at it. Dan Horn, the offensive line coach, as we look at a replay to see. Oh, yeah. Got stepped on. That's Bobby Willis at the bottom of that little pile right there on the right side of your screen, in the middle of your screen.
Good to see him walking off.
If hobbled.
Yep, at least he's walking off.
That's always where it starts with these teams, isn't it, John? I mean, the good offensive teams, especially teams that like to run the ball like Jackson Lumen Christi, that offensive line, he lost 4 or 5 starters. He's got a sophomore, a freshman, and 2 juniors. So you know that next year this offensive line is going to be solidly intact. The one guy they will lose is the senior Hunter Denton, the 3rd generation Denton.
You know what I'd like to see, Dan? Jackson Lumen Christi has not changed in how many years? They run a pro-style attack, play action, run the ball with all these RPOs and shotgun and spread and all this stuff. Coach Brogan has stayed the course and just continues to put out unbelievably excellent football teams, doing it his way.
Fitzpatrick, who had the 24-yard touchdown run, bounces off of one tackle, cuts it to the outside, cuts it back inside. And Brock Fitzpatrick getting a chance to play and putting up some numbers. 14-yard gain before James Nuttall brings him down. Clock ticking down. Both teams with their full complement of timeouts, but unlikely that either will use them with the 21-point lead for the Titans of Jackson Lumen Christi. And now the backup quarterback gets a chance to play. That's the junior, Brendan Wilson. Again, a thrill for him to be able to take a snap or 2 in the final seconds of this championship game.
Just get the snap. First thing, get the snap. There you go.
Try to slow the heart rate.
That's right.
And the ball came loose. Looks like Montague has it. If it came out before he went down, and they say he did indeed lose the ball. So the backup quarterback, Brendan Wilson, executed his part. And then, unfortunately for Delton Langley, he's the one who fumbled that ball. But that will not detract at all from the day that he has had, being such a big part of the toss sweep that has resulted in a whole lot of yards today for Thomas and others.
I know this is not hockey, but I'm going to give Delton Langley one of my top 3 stars, Dan. I have to.
You have to.
I've loved the way he played all day.
We've done a lot of games together through the years. It's rare that you will see one young man throw so many big blocks downfield to produce so many yards.
Him and Dayton Keller are what a dynamic duo. And not to take anything away from the tackles, but on that toss sweep, those guys do an unbelievable job.
Timeout for Herb Brogan and Jackson Lumen Christi. I think Coach Brogan wants to get a lot of his reserves in. He already had a few of his reserves in, but I think finally Nick Thomas maybe has to come out of the game against his wishes. Nope, he's going to stay in there. Other guys may be subbed out, but Nick Thomas is staying on the field.
You drag him kicking and screaming.
But you always love this. I mean, it's obviously tough for Montague, but the guys who get a chance to take a snap or 2 at the end of the game, they get a chance to say they're on the field here at Ford Field for at least a few plays in the championship game. Chelsea and Edwardsburg. We're looking forward to that. It's a good one. Two talented teams. Edwardsburg just explosive offensively, averaging better than 50 points a game. We certainly saw that big play ability last year in the state finals. A loss for them in the state finals, and now they are back and looking as imposing as ever this year. So some subs, not a ton of subs. Quick toss again. Schwartz is in the open field. Can he break free again? He will. Brennan Schwartz is going to take it the distance. How about that? Quiet all day. This time a 77-yard touchdown pass. And Montague saying we're not going away quietly.
It's not over till it's over. Here it is. All this is a little play action. A dump over the middle. Schwartz is taking a distance, outrunning everybody, stiff arm. Nothing fancy. They just released him from a wing position, and he took the ball the distance.
Two big pass plays on a day when Montague just couldn't get the pass game going, both in the last couple of minutes. 47-yard strike, 77-yard strike, both to Schwartz. The extra point up and good. Well, now we might see Montague take some timeouts after this upcoming onside kick.
Great release there. Fitzpatrick gambled, and he lost that gamble. Schwartz made him pay.
The stiff arm on the other number 6, Wyatt Plate. And then some breakaway speed. So the last attempt at an onside kick did not go far enough. Has to go 10. And you can see Lumen Christi will put out a lot of their guys with the best hands and pack that space around the 50-yard line, the 40 to the 50-yard line. 9 men up close. High school football, you cannot pooch kick and have it caught. The ball has to touch the ground and or one of the members of the receiving team for the kicking team to recover it. Just keep that in mind. Fitzpatrick is deep, but otherwise everybody else is up close for Jackson Lumen Christi. David Ramsey is the kicker. And a little short kick, and Lumen Christi ready. And the Titans of Lumen Christi will take the ball over. But again, Montague with 3 timeouts left. If Lumen Christi doesn't get a first down here, it could get interesting. It's just been awfully tough to stop Jackson Lumen Christi.
They will be tackling the football, I can assure you of that, trying to rip it loose. They have to come up with a turnover here.
In the plays where the guys get to play because it's a blowout in a championship game, that time is done. It's back to the regulars. Joe Barrett back in at quarterback for Lumen Christi. And all the regulars are back out there as Herb Brogan wants a first down here to try to run this clock out in a game that suddenly has gotten a little tight. For his liking, 42-14 has become 42-28 in the blink of an eye. Time had been called. Now Lumen Christi. Barrett under center. Thomas on the carry. Will kick it outside. And a nice gain for him on first down. Boy, that's a lot of good blocking up front. Schwartz brings him down, but that's a gain of 8 on first down, and that's the problem for Montague. They just can't stop right now the unstoppable Nick Thomas.
Especially when you're coming up with 8 yards on first down, but they'll use all their timeouts now. It's hoping for a miracle.
It's interesting that they couldn't make that connection. Talking about Montague all day long between sophomore quarterback Drew Collins and his favorite target, Brennan Schwartz, until these last two.
Well, to be fair, Dan, he was going against some backups, right? So, you know, the first team guys had him shut down pretty well. And,
yeah.
You know.
That's a good point.
But yeah, you would have thought, based on coming into the game and what Schwartz and Collins had done over the course of the year, that they were able to get him free and be a bigger impact in this game.
So the first timeout used by Montague, a first down here for Lumen Christi. You would think they probably will not.
Oh,
Ball is fumbled and recovered by Lumen Christi. But Barrett was just going to sneak at that time, and now Montague will use a second timeout, hoping to get the ball back one more time. Nick Thomas is a senior, and he's got a chance to win a third straight state championship game. We asked him before the game what it would mean to him.
First of all, it's the first time in Lumen history that it would be 3 in a row, that we'd win 3 in a row. And secondly, you know, starting sophomore year and junior year as well, it was fun, you know, seeing all the seniors kind of lead it. But it'd be great to cap off my career leading a team in a state title and making history for Lumen.
And he is going out as impressively as, well, just about anybody we've seen in recent years. Over 250 yards on the ground for that young man.
How about that? 3 state championships.
A starter each year.
Yep.
And 250 yards plus impressive work defensively in his last shot. The give right up the middle. It's going to be very close. Thomas carrying it right to the first down marker. And official indicated 4th down. It'd be 4th in inches. And you would think Lumen Christi will go for it on 4th down here. Can't picture them punting it away. Let's see. Barrett over to have a word with his head coach.
Took their last time out. See what happens.
Did Lumen Christi take the timeout? I think they did. No, you're right. Montague. We're in their last timeout. Hoping to get the ball back one more time, but I'm just picturing Barrett, the quarterback, on a sneak here.
Well, it's going to be him or Thomas.
Going out on a limb.
Going out on a limb. Rolling the dice. Coach Brogan, we just got to finish this thing. Let's get out of here.
No coach feels the lead is safe until that final seconds tick off. Barrett will give, and Thomas will get the first down. And that will all but run out the clock. They probably have to snap it one more time after they move the chains.
Will we see the victory formation or take a knee?
Yep, got to be take a knee. Jackson Lumen Christi. This will be the 11th championship in Herb Brogan's distinguished, illustrious career going back to 1980. And their 3rd straight state championship. One more snap, and that will do it. Jackson Lumen Christi is your Division VI state champion in 2018. Terrific performance by Herb Brogan, his staff, his team, down early And they just didn't worry about it because they had Nick Thomas in the backfield and a whole lot of good blocking up front. Very impressive performance by Nick Thomas and Jackson Lumen Christi today. We've got another one coming up for you. The Division IV state championship game, Chelsea and Edwardsburg. We understand the kickoff will be 1/2 hour from now at 7:45 for the Division IV state championship game, and I hope you can join us for that. We're looking forward to it coming up in half an hour. Well, that's it from Ford Field, where Jackson Lumen Christi defeats Montague 42-28. Coming up.
Gotta make it happen. Yeah.